Hello everyone, what is going on? Guardian here, and we're gonna continue with some Lost Judgment. Um, obviously last night I did a stream of this game, pretty short one, since obviously it was late at night of course. But this time we can go a little longer, and potentially we could do an Xbox bonus stream, you know. As for what I could stream on the Xbox, I think I have an idea. Of course, I'll keep it as a surprise. But all I will say is, it's a game that I love since I was young. It's a game that I played a ton on the OG Xbox. So pretty much that's definitely a clue. It's an OG Xbox game. But obviously I won't say what it is, what game it is.
2ヶ月前、教育実習中に失踪していた大学生、三越柴博。無残な他殺体となって発見された彼のその人物像が、八神の調査で徐々に浮かび上がってくる。三越柴は4年前に同級生を自殺へ追いやった罪を免れ、そのことを周囲の教師らも承知しているようだった。
This article might be about Mikoshiba, but it's not reporting the identity of the corpse. Does that mean the police are still withholding information? Your interview with Sawa Sensei seems to be taking an awful long time. Lady Fly, what's up? Good to see you here. I hope your day's going good.
まあまあ、先生は職員室にお戻りですよね。ご一緒してもいいですか？
今、警察が来て、いろいろ話を聞かれてました。
I'm doing it myself. Obviously, I'm streaming some Lost Judgment, and if I'm in the mood, I could do a bonus stream after this one on the Xbox.
ええ。でもほら、ここじゃなんですから。
How's your week been? It's been good. It's been good. Just doing a little more streaming. Yeah, gonna play some Lost Judgment, and then if I'm in the mood, potentially I could play on the Xbox. I could play an OG Xbox game. Of course, I won't say what it is. I'll keep it a surprise. But it's a game that I do love a lot.
それはそうですけど。
刑事たちは他に何て言ってました？
Yeah, it's good to see you, Fleety. And that's good. You're doing good. That's great. I'm glad.
うん、確かに。
そもそもあなたは部外者なんです。校内への立ち入りは。
How's the game like? Are you talking the Xbox game that I'm gonna stream or this game?
生徒に危害を加えたなんてことになったら大問題ですから。
大丈夫です。その件はもう話がつい
Oh,
てます。
Lost Judgment. Okay. Yeah, it's of course it's similar to the first Judgment, of course. It's of course similar to that game where of course you're, you know, figuring out a mystery and, you know, combat you switch between different styles. Well, I'll explain it more when this is over. I don't want to talk over the characters. Or maybe I could, because they're speaking Japanese and there's subtitles, so I guess I could. I don't know. Do you want me to talk over this, or do you want me to just stay quiet and then talk later?
何日か前、偉人町で見つかった死体が彼だったと。
お気の毒です。
あとは三越場君が教育実習中にどんな様子だったかをずっと聞かれてました。こっちからは全然質問できる雰囲気じゃなくて。
そうですか。なるほど。
Don't mind you talking over. It's also that way. Yeah, true. There's subtitles, so it's not like you're not gonna be able to understand what they're saying, and it's Japanese too. Yeah. Are the police keeping Iharu's connection to Raps while they investigate this murder? But yeah, this game, it obviously plays similar to the first one. Of course, there's differences, especially when it comes to the combat. I really like the combat in this one. This one definitely is an improvement over the first Judgment. Not to say that the first Judgment's combat was bad, not by any means. Actually, before this game, I consider Judgment one of the best combat-wise in the Yakuza series, but definitely this one tops the first one. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best Yakuza games combat-wise, because it just feels really nice to play and stuff. So many different options and stuff, and that's the thing that I like. You get more options in combat. Like, with the introduction of the snake style, now you can disarm enemies, and that definitely is a useful thing to have. I mean, like in the first one, you did have, like, EX disarm, like, moves, but obviously you needed heat for that. You needed heat for that to work, and it also had to be when they're about to hit you. But here, with the snake style, you can just disarm them without the need of using a heat action. Of course, they still exist in this game, but it's definitely, you know... But the snake style is a really good fighting style. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely my top favorite in this game. And of course, they also introduce boxing. Although that one's a DLC, you do have to pay for that one. You do have to pay for the boxing fighting style. Obviously, of course, that one is it's a boxing style, so of course you're throwing lots of punches and a lot of, you know, bobbing and weaving and stuff, you know. I haven't played too much of it, mostly because I need to, like, upgrade it and stuff. Although I probably won't upgrade it too much in this walkthrough. I probably won't upgrade it all the way up. I'll probably give it a few more upgrades and stuff, but I don't think I'll upgrade it all the way, because to get the rest, you have to do one of the school stories, which is this new, like, these new side quests that you do in this game. Because, obviously, of course, you're undercover at a school, and you end up helping this one student, Amasawa, and then you basically end up going into these different clubs, and obviously each club is a different mini-game is what it is. And one of the clubs you can do is boxing, and when you do that, you get moves for your boxing style. So, but of course I haven't finished that, that side quest. I haven't finished that club yet. So, I don't have all the upgrades for my boxing style, but I have all the upgrades for everything else, though, so it's not like I'm underpowered. I beat the game without the boxing style. Like, I didn't even have the boxing style when I beat this game, so you can pretty much get through it fine. It's not like you really need the boxing style, you know? Not that it's a bad style, but it's not one you necessarily need to, like... It's not when you need to, like, beat the game or anything. You can get through it fine. But there's definitely a lot of, what I also like is that the old fighting styles get some new things, too. It's not just... They're not just the exact same, sorry about that. I love the stream, yeah. The stream tile, yeah. Thanks. But what I really like also is they give the each of the old combat styles a new things too. It's not just they just put in snake style and then left the two other styles the same. Yeah, for the most part they play the same way. But they did change it up. But they did give them new things on their own, which is nice. Like for example, now the crane style. Now you can do this new, what's it called? Flying crane, You can do this flying crane move, which is you hold block, then press X, and then you can like go into the air. Now initially all it does is it just makes it a little easier for you to get out of the way, and you can move at the same time. But you can get upgrades where you can get upgrades where not only can you attack from it, but you can even do heat actions. And it's a pretty awesome move, definitely. And also there's an upgrade you get where you can use that to evade bullets. So if someone's about to shoot at you, you just use that. You can just do that, and then you'll get out. The bullets won't hit you. Although I think you do need to be in EX boost. I think, if I remember, I think you have to be in the EX boost, which of course returns from this game. Which actually I forgot to mention, this one actually does slightly nerf it in a way, because unlike before where you were practically invisible, you know, like you're invincible pretty much when you activated that. Nothing could hurt you, absolutely nothing. But here they actually changed it up. Now there is an upgrade where you can make it to where you don't die as long as that's active. It essentially treats it more like Kiwami 2, where like you don't, well, I wouldn't say Kiwami 2, because Kiwami 2 there is an upgrade where you don't get stunned, but here you can actually get stunned. There's a lot to explain though, so that was the snake style right there that I just did. But you know, there's a lot of like new things in this game, tons of new things that I can talk about. Shit, what was I can't believe I forgot what I was talking about now. I forgot. I like lost my train of thought now. I completely lost it now. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, the combat in this game. Oh, right. Now I remember the EX boost. They changed it up slightly to where you do get not stunned but phased, and then also you do take damage, unlike before where pretty much like you'll get hit and nothing will happen. You could take any kind of attack and nothing will happen. But here they made it a little less powerful. It's not that it's not powerful at all. It's just that now you can actually get stopped and stuff, so you can just use it to just go through an enemy's attack, because you can still get stunned. You can still get stun phase, you know, the same thing pretty much. You actually will get stunned or phased even when you're in EX boost. It's not like before where you can get hit and just keep going through them like nothing. Not here. Of course, you know, it's, you know, still the same mechanic, of course. You know, you raise your heat, then if you fill up a bar, then you can go into EX boost, and, you know. One of the things I definitely like about this game is juggling. Like, in the first one, you could juggle, but it was really hard to do. It was really hard to do. Well, I shouldn't say it was hard, but you needed to use your EX boost. You pretty much had to use it to properly juggle, essentially. Like, you could do attacks that'll, like, put them in the air, but it doesn't give you, but you don't really get a lot of time to do them, unless you're an EX boost. That's, like, the only way you could do it. And even then, you couldn't hit them for too long, because you were still kind of slow. Your attack speed was still kind of slow. But here, they actually made it a lot easier, because there's this one upgrade for your crane style where if you dodge before an enemy hits you, you'll pretty much go into this kind of into like this boost, pretty much where your attack speed increases. And what's cool is because obviously not only does this mean that you attack quicker, but it also makes it a lot more easier to juggle enemies, because since you can attack quicker, this means that now you can keep them in the air for a bit longer than before. It's definitely a night and day. Like, when I watch people in the first Judgement try to juggle, it's possible, but it's definitely a little harder to do. But here, I've seen, like, people do juggles of, and they can do some insane juggle combos. They can do some pretty insane juggle combos. And, Botch, what's going on? How you doing? Just thought I'd drop in. Doing well. I'm doing good, Botch, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here. I hope your day's going good. Back to what I was saying, so, you know, so it's a lot easier to juggle enemies in this game compared to the, first one. And really, this game feels faster, actually. Overall, this game feels faster. Like, speed-wise, it feels faster compared to the first one. Like, it feels a lot it feels a lot faster compared to the, first Judgment. Not just in terms of when you get that little boost that increases your attack speed, but also because they also increased the, they also made it a lot faster to switch too. They also made it a lot faster to switch between the styles, and it's really easy to go from one style to the next really quickly. Not that that was necessarily a problem in the first one, although it did make it a little harder to keep, which is another reason why juggles in this one are easier, because you can swap styles really quickly. You know, it's kind of like in Kiwami 1 where, if you dodge or you do a finishing blow, you can immediately, if you get that one upgrade where when you either dodge or do a combo finisher, then you can immediately switch to the next style. It's kind of like that, except you can do it any time. So, but enjoying some fine sausage rolls. Ooh, nice Botch. That sounds delicious. I actually had fish and mashed potatoes for lunch. That was delicious also. But yeah, it definitely feels a lot faster, which is definitely cool. And going to the next style, the tiger style. What kind of fish? Salmon. It was salmon fish. It was really good. Yeah, salmon fish is really good. And then of course, like tuna. That's also really delicious too. Well, I didn't have tuna today, but tuna's also really good. Pretty much salmon and tuna are like the best. So good. Really enough, I've actually heard that people put oil in fish, or not fish, tuna is what it is, and I guess because obviously everyone has different taste, of course. Me personally, I didn't really need to do that. I'm fine with it just being just water tuna. I'm fine with it just being that. You know? But, anyways, going back to what I was saying, I really do like the, Tiger style. For the most part, it plays the same way. I'm getting hungry now. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't talk about food, because then we're gonna end up having to eat something really quickly then. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about food anymore. Yeah, you know. But the Tiger style also is, they also added some new things too. I mean, for the most part, it's the same. You can still do charge attacks like in the first one, although I think they're a little quicker in this one, which actually, speaking of that, that attack speed bonus that I mentioned before for the crane, you can get an upgrade where it applies to the others too. So this means that not only crane gets that boost, but even tiger and the snake style get it, and of course boxing if you have it, of course. And definitely, yeah, that makes the tiger a lot more powerful because, you know, since it's quicker and you get the power, since obviously tiger is more powerful compared to crane, it definitely makes it more of a dangerous style. And actually, I forgot to say this too. Crane in this one's actually a lot more useful compared to the first one. Not to say that in the first one it's bad, but pretty much once you're in a one-on-one fight, especially against a boss, there's not really much reason to use it because obviously you can't break blocks, you know, obviously it's not really meant for one-on-one encounters. It's more for, you know, it's more for groups is what it is. But in this game, you can actually even use it for even one-on-one fights, actually. Especially thanks to, because it's got that attack speed bonus upgrade. It definitely makes it way more useful, which is good, you know. And, you know, I think that's definitely a good thing to have in this game, is that each one of them is great to use. They attempt to make the balance. They attempt to balance out to make more use of them out of all of them. Yeah, exactly, Fleety. Yeah, they pretty much wanted. They pretty much made them a little more balanced. You know, it's not just like before where it's like, you know, where it's just like train if it's like a bunch of them and then switch to Tiger and just stick to that. You know, it's not like that. You know. I mean, obviously you don't want to stick. I mean, not to say that in the first, because in the first it was more of a situational thing, is what it was. Crane, you know, it was something that you pretty much only used if you're in a group fight. If you're in a group fight, then yes, you want to use it. But once you're in a one-on-one fight, there's no reason to use it. You pretty much just there's pretty much no reason to use Crane. Tiger is pretty much what it's for. But here you can use all the different ones, you know, not just Tiger. Now you can use all the. Now all of them are really useful. And actually, Crane is a really good one to use. And the first one is also good to use for setting up juggle combos also, but definitely here it's a lot better for setting up juggle combos. Like what I'll do is I'll like dodge, like with the Crane style. Oh, and actually I forgot to mention this too. The Buzz Researcher. Oh yeah, this is the the Chatter Buzz. Yeah, this is kind of similar to that one mechanic in the first one where you had to like pick certain keywords and stuff. It's pretty similar to that. In case the Buzz Researcher, yeah. Obviously we're not going to use that too much, that's mostly for side quest. But another thing I forgot to mention too, the Crane style gets its own Tiger drop in a way, you know. It's not the exact same thing where it's, you hit them and it pushes them back, more so that you do a low kick and it sends them up in the air. It pretty much sets up a juggle is what it was. So basically, it's a good skill for setting up juggle combos. It pretty much works the same way like a Tiger drop does. You just wait till your opponent's about to hit, hold R1, and then just press triangle, and then you'll do that attack. It's just instead of kicking them back, you'll actually send them up into the air, and then now you can just go at them in the air. Noise amp, detectives hear the noise amp, point this in any direction to pinpoint the source of the sound. Yeah, pretty much most of this is going to be used for side quests, although there's going to be a few parts where we are going to use these things, but not too much. Yeah, and then the snake style, is another great addition to this game, absolutely, you know. I mentioned before that you can disarm, you know, enemies. If they have a weapon, you can disarm them so they can't use it. Don't think I've ever seen a juggle combo in these games. It will be interesting to see. Yeah, pretty much Judgement, I think, is like... Yeah, I think it was actually the first one to do juggle combos, because beforehand you couldn't really do juggle combos. Like, you could do combos, but they're not necessarily like... It's more so like you're just hitting, but you're on the ground. It's not necessarily to where, like, you can knock them into the air and then, like, you know, and then you could just, like, keep hitting them on and stuff like that, you know. It's basically just, they're on the ground and you could just keep hitting them and stuff. Like, at best, what I'll see people do is they'll, like, kind of hit the opponent a bit, then go around them and then hit them again. Basically, they keep getting around the back and just keep hitting them, you know. That's about the best of a combo that people can do in the pre-Dragon Engine, you know, games, you know. Looks like the gadgets are going to come in handy. But yeah, in Judgement, that's when they started introducing, like, juggles and stuff, you know. Judgement pretty much, I think, was the first Yakuza game to do juggles. But like I said before, it's Not really, but in the first one, it's, like I said before, it's a little harder to do. It's not impossible. Like, you can get a bit damage when you're doing a juggle, but you pretty much need to be an EX boost. You did need to be in that, because if you try to attack them just without your EX boost, you're going to be a little slow. You might get maybe 1 or 2 hits in, and then that's essentially it. You know. With EX boost, you can get a bit more in, but it's not too many hits, though. You're not gonna get too many hits in. A little better than not having it, but still not too many. But here, you can get a lot more in. Like, if you check out some, if you check out, what's his name? Plus Lee, I think is his name. I think that's his channel's name. He does, like, no damage Yakuza, like, runs and stuff like that. He does some pretty insane combos in this game. He can just keep nailing, like, he can hit enemy into there and he'll just keep hitting them for a while and stuff, and then their health will be, like, going down stuff. Now, of course, it's not to say that if you do a combo, you're just gonna keep dragging their health down, like, completely. It is gonna, the damage will, there is damage scaling. So, like in a fighting game where, you know, like, the longer the combo, the less damage you start to do, that's here, of course. So, it's not like, you know, like, you could just keep hitting them and stuff, and you know, like, the damage is gonna stay the same. It's gonna, eventually, you're gonna do less and less damage, you know. Plus, also, eventually, they're gonna fall to the ground anyway, you know. They're gonna fall to the ground anyway. It's not like they're gonna stay up there forever. But you can definitely keep them a lot longer in the air here than in the first one. And you don't even need to go into EX boost to keep them in the air for long. As long as you have that that attack speed boost for Crane, you could pretty much just keep him in the air. That's all you need. Of course, if you get the upgrade where that boost will apply to all your fine souls, then pretty much, yeah, you can do some serious damage. And of course, also, like, you know, like I said, like, the new fighting styles, the snake and the boxing, you know. Like I said before, boxing is something you don't necessarily need. It's not that it's terrible. I've seen Plus Lee use it, and he's used it really well. He can do some really good combos with it. But it's not necessarily something you necessarily need. Oh, and the other funny thing, too, actually, unlike most other Yakuza games where all start on normal, this one actually started on hard, actually. Because, you know, I was worried this was gonna be the last Judgment game. Now, of course, that's not like, you know, like a spoiler or anything, you know. It's just that, you know, because of what's going on with, like, Yagami's actor and, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's all it is. So, hard mode, yeah. I started there. I did pretty good, actually. I mean, I died a few times, more so because of one particular section, which we'll get to much later. I won't say what it is, but it is a pretty BS moment. But obviously I won't say what it is. I'll keep that as, like, you know, kind of a, you know. But, yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I could, I'm trying to think of something else to, that I can also bring up in this game. That's also, I'm trying to think of something else. But there's a lot of things in this game I can talk about that I really like. Ah, crap, my mind's blank pretty much. Sorry about that. I'm pretty much blank now. I'm trying to think of something to talk about in this game, and now I can't think of one. Don't worry, don't first think. Yeah, thank you, Fleafly. Yeah, I appreciate that, yeah. You're definitely right. Did Fleety buy his way into moderation? There will be something else. I'm enjoying this. What's going on, I apologize if I screw up your name. Dime Deus, is that how you pronounce it? I'm sorry if I screwed up your name. I'm sorry if I messed up your name. Dime is fine. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Dime, there you go. No, it's not. I'm not offended. Okay, Dime, okay. Yeah, I'll just say Dime. That's a lot easier, yeah. I forgot, yeah, you do actually like, you're fine with just being called Dime. I forgot about that, my bad, I'm sorry. But, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I hope your day's going good. Oh, actually, now I know, actually, now I know something that, I can actually talk about. This game, actually, I beat pretty quick, actually. This is, I think, the quickest I've actually been a Yakuza game, actually. The main reason is because the skill point, most of the skills I got pretty quick, and you know what's funny? The way how I did it, by getting a majority of the skills, I just simply fight random guys in the street. You maybe think, well, like, you know, like, wait, that's it? That's all you do? Well, it's because this game has... Good, been a little busy. Oh, okay, Dime, okay. That's good. Hopefully it's not too big a deal. I hope you're, you know, I hope it's not too stressful. Been waiting forever for my emotes to get approved. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that's cool. You're doing emotes? That's really cool. Oh, I'm guessing that's like an emote. Of course, I can't see it though. I can't see the emote, but I imagine that's an emote, of course. But I actually beat this game. It sure is. But yeah, I beat this game pretty quickly. Actually, I think I beat this in what, like 1 to 2 weeks, I think. I think it was 2 weeks. I think it took me to beat this game, because pretty much all I had to really do was just fight random enemies and I'll rack up points really quickly. And the reason why for that is because this game basically brings back it brings back that that score mechanic from the from Zero. Because if you remember in Zero, when you do certain actions and stuff, you get bonus money. Like if you do a heat action finisher, or if you use this style many times, or if you do this heat action or something like that, or if you don't take any damage, you know, it gives you like extra money. Well, basically this game brings that back. Every time, whenever you do certain actions, it'll give you extra bonus points. And the thing is, it's really easy to rack up points in this game. It's really easy to rack up points. I remember in the beginning, like, what was it, I think it was actually the second chapter, actually. I think it was the second or first chapter. I just started beating up guys in the street, and I was just getting upgrades left and right. Of course, I can't get every upgrade immediately, of course. I can't get every upgrade, because obviously some of them you did need the books to get an upgrade. Certain ones do require, like in the first one, certain upgrades you need to get like a book to get that particular skill. So I couldn't get every upgrade, but I had a majority of them pretty much really early on. I think like chapter 2 or 3, I had like 60 to 70% of the upgrades already, and I don't usually get upgrades that quick. Usually it would take me like maybe halfway through before I get a pretty good amount of them. But here, I got them really early, actually. So yeah. Which is also why I didn't necessarily, like... It's not that I didn't do any side quests. Obviously, there were a few that I did do, so that way I could get, like, skill books and, you know, stuff like that. But pretty much a majority of them, I didn't really do them. Not because I didn't want to do them, more so that I just didn't have motivation, that's why, you know. Obviously, I do side quests if I know it's because it's gonna give me something really good, you know. But if it's pretty much just the same stuff, then I'm pretty much just gonna, like, ignore it, essentially, you know? It's like in Scarlet Nexus, you know? In that game, it was like, you know, like in Scarlet Nexus, it was pretty much like, you know, like a lot of the side quests and stuff, there wasn't really a reason to, do too many of the quests, because the items, for the most part, they give you are just, like, it's stuff that you can just get from the shop. Like, maybe not now, like, but a little later, you can get them anyway, so there's not really much reason to do them, you know? Not necessarily that they're hard, just that there's not a lot of motivation to do them. Like, here, do this side quest and then you'll get this item, but it's like, well, I can just get it right there. I can just get it from the shop. Why do I have to do this side quest? I don't really need to do it. Are there any crazy, insane side quests or characters in this game as well? Yep, definitely. There definitely are some crazy side quests. Though, unfortunately, I won't be showing any because this is just going to be focused on the main story, you know. I'm not really going to be doing a lot of side quests, you know. So, if you want to see that, I'm sorry, you know. I'm sorry if you wanted to see, like, any side quest. This is all about the main story, so... but I can definitely tell you, yes, there are some pretty crazy side stories in this game. I can definitely guarantee that. What's this? Based on the shape, that's women's underwear. No worries, I understand, but that's good that they do have that content still. Yeah, I don't think that's really gonna, like, that's pretty much like a staple of this series. It's pretty much a staple. Perv. Yeah, exactly. This guy here. This supposed bird watcher. Well, what the hell are you doing with panties, buddy? What's that in your back pocket there? I keep forgetting I can set auto on. I like that, it's cool. Well, that's... I know what they are. It could be a fancy face mask. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if people did use panties as face masks. I wouldn't be surprised. People tend to use all kinds of weird things for a mask, so I would not be too surprised. Oh god, you're right, yeah. I've seen some weird people wear some, like, weird stuff for a mask. It is weird. Go and be the next Professor Penny. Yeah, that's a dude from the first one. Fine, no choice but to use force then. I love that E action's so cool. Well, that's the one thing I like about this snake style. There's like a little bit of Wing Chun in there. I like that. That's really... That's an appropriate response, I think. I was going to be the next Professor Panny. I know about Professor Panny. I caught him myself. What? Took him down? I don't know why I'm reading the subtitles. I don't really need to read them anyway. That bird didn't try to hide his creepiness. Yeah, this is a side quest in the first game. It was what, like 4 or 5 of them. They're like this like pervert gang or whatever is what it was. Each one of them had like a weird like fetish is what it is. I can't remember what they're called, but there was, I think, like 4 or 5 of them, I remember.
いえ。
Oh yeah, and also there's a ton of mini games to do. They actually brought back the I really like that they actually brought back the Camera of the Dead minigame. I really like they brought that back. That was one of my favorites in the first Judgment. Although in this one it's not called Camera of the Dead, it's called, what was it? Is it Yokohama of the Dead? Chicho of the Dead? I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was either Yokohama of the Dead or Inchicho of the Dead, because it's supposed to be in this city that we're in. Yokohama, that's what it's supposed to be. I can't remember what it's called. It was something like that. But they also brought back some, like, you know, like Virtua Fighter 5. They even put in Sonic the Fighters, which is pretty funny. I actually remember playing that in an arcade a long time ago, but I lost to Tails because he kept grabbing me. I remember that. Really? Yeah, they had Sonic the Fighters, yeah. Yeah, I remember playing that in an actual arcade one time. It was pretty fun, but I unfortunately lost to Tails because he kept grabbing me, unfortunately. He kept grabbing me. I think he would do like this kind of like move where like he would kind of go up to the air and then he would like grab you and then kind of like throw you on the ground and stuff. Yeah. I can't remember how far I'm trying to remember what stage Tails was. I think it was stage 4, maybe? Because it's been such a long time since I played it, so I don't remember too much. But I know he was one of the characters you fight. It's pretty much you fight all the Sonic characters and stuff. Although there were a few that were from the comics. What was it? Snipe? Is that his name? Snipe? He had like a fedora on and stuff. Then you fought that one polar bear. I forgot his name too, but I know they were from the comics. Fang. Yeah, I think that was his name. Fang the Sniper. Yeah, I think that was his name. Yeah, that was his name. Yeah. And then there was that one polar bear guy, but I forgot his name. Damn, used to play that on the Gems collection. I think you're right about one spamming. I never had the Gems collection, but I do have the Mega collection on Xbox. Can't remember the polar bear's name. I remember he throws bombs. Oh yeah, he throws yeah, I remember he would throw bombs at you. Yeah, I remember that. He would throw like he would keep throwing bombs at you and stuff. You gotta like get out of the way and stuff. Yeah, I remember that. I just don't remember his name though. But I never played Gems Collection, but I do have Mega Collection on the original Xbox. I remember playing that a lot. That game's a lot of fun. The Mega Collection. That's really where I started to get into Retro Sonic, into the like the classic Sonic games. That's where I got into them, was through that. I did watch my brother play because we used to have a Genesis, but I was too young though. I couldn't play those games yet. I was way too young. So by the time I could play, unfortunately we didn't have the Genesis or the Nintendo or Super Nintendo. We had the 3 consoles. Acquiring keywords. Discovering a searchable keyword will pop up. Yeah, this is pretty much for side quests. Again, not really something that, you know, we're gonna be focusing on too much. Sounds right, has a bunch of classic Sonic games. Very good, port of the classics. Yeah, definitely. I think definitely the best Sega collection is the what was it called? Sonic Genesis collection or Sega Genesis collection? The one that came out recently. That came out more recently. It's on modern consoles. I think that's what it's called. Sonic's Sega Genesis collection or something like that. Well, because when I say that, it's making it sound like I'm talking about the 360 and PS3 collection is what it's making it sound like. But side cases, detectives, bread and butter, earn your money, ASP, and items. Yeah. But again, we're not doing any of that stuff for this one. Is that the one with the large roster of Sega games, not just Sonic? Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. It wasn't just Sonic games, it had a bunch of other Sega games. Yeah, I remember I had like, what was it, Streets of Rage 1, Streets of Rage 2, Altered Beast, of course the Sonic games. I'm trying to remember what else. There's a bunch of different ones. Almost Time to Meet with Sawa Sensei. She set the place on Iyazaki Road. You know what's actually one thing that would be awesome if they did? A Dreamcast collection. I'm honestly surprised they never done a Dreamcast collection. I don't know if it's because, maybe because of licensing and stuff. I guess that's why, but maybe? I don't know. It would be cool if they actually did a Dreamcast collection. We never had a Dreamcast, but I do know there's a lot of great games on that system, you know. That was unfortunately one of the last consoles that Sega did, and then obviously now, of course, they just do video games now. They don't do consoles anymore. Which really sucks because looking at the Dreamcast, it was pretty advanced for its time, really. That's really where you got, like, before, because that came out a little before the PS2 and stuff, so, you know, that was pretty advanced for its time, you know. It was really advanced. I used to have a Dreamcast. It was excellent. Games were really good. Yeah, I remember, what was it? Sonic Adventure was on it. That's when it first came out, was for that. I did play that game on the GameCube, of course. I didn't play it on the Dreamcast, because like I said, we didn't have one. I love this cutscene. This cutscene's really cool. We're getting a little Jackie Chan in here. I was just going to say Jackie Chan. Yeah. You know what's silly? We can't use that. Even though he's using it there, you can't use it, actually. You actually can't use that umbrella. Or maybe you can, I don't know. I don't think you can. I could check, I don't know. But, yeah. Fun Adventure 1 and 2, Shenmue 2. Oh yeah, I forgot Shenmue was on Dreamcast also. I actually did get the Shenmue 1 and 2 on PS4, but honestly, I don't really like Shenmue, to be honest. I don't really like Shenmue. I don't really like Shenmue, honestly. It's not because it's more so just a case of because when you play Yakuza and you play that, it just doesn't feel as good to play, you know. I'm not saying that Shenmue's a bad game. For its time, it was absolutely a fantastic game. It's just that, you know, with Yakuza, it's not really as, you know, good, you know. Obviously, if you enjoy it, that's definitely fine, and, you know, I'm definitely glad you enjoy it, but me personally, I don't know. I don't really like Shenmue, honestly. Oh yeah, and that's what I forgot to mention. The snake cell, you get access to the surrender skill. You get access to the surrender skill, which is when someone's scared, then you can like finish them off like that. It's funny. It was more of a product of its time, but I know if I went back to it, it would just be the same. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's simply just because it just hasn't aged well. Now they have games like Yakuza, they are a lot better. Yeah, exactly. Because pretty much Yakuza is basically the spiritual successor to Shenmue. Which is why I actually did check out Shenmue, because this series was pretty much, you know, because Shenmue was basically a precursor to Yakuza. But when I try to play that, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good. And it's not because there's a lot of talking or anything. I can play games that have a lot of talking and I'll enjoy them. Well, obviously this game, you know, I play the Yakuza games and these games have a ton of talking, so it's not like I can't take games that have a lot of talking. I mean, I even play the Metal Gear games and those too have a lot of talking. It's just, there's just some mechanics I just don't really like especially the fighting, and that's definitely what throws me off. Now, obviously, it's the people who did Virtua Fighter, so it's supposed to play more like that. So, but I don't know, it just does not feel good to play. It just does not feel good to play. Basically keeps the same concepts but refines them and improves on them. Yeah, basically, Fleety, yeah. Pretty much this series takes what Shenmue did and improves on it in a lot of ways. You know. Which is why, like, Shenmue 3, I wasn't really interested in it. It didn't really look that appealing stuff. Lucky Hit, I have nightmares on that. Lucky Hit, what is that? Is that a minigame in Shenmue if I remember? I could be wrong. I think it was. But, I remember the combat in Shenmue. Honestly, I don't know, the combat just does not feel good, to be honest. I did the part-time jump on that, and I was feeling just the way he said it was funny. Oh yeah, you can now forget about the English voice acting. Wasn't Lucky It in... I'm trying to remember. Isn't that the one with the ball? You had to drop this ball, and it had to go into one of the holes, and if it goes into the right one, you'll get, like, money or something. I think that's what it is, and that was in the second one, if I remember. I could be wrong. But, yeah, I just can't really get into Shenmue. I just can't really get into it. Especially the comic, because, I don't know, the comic just doesn't... It just doesn't feel that great. And the thing is, when you're against multiple... I think that's definitely where it's at its worst. When you're fighting multiple opponents... Oh, man, it's bad, honestly. It's really bad, because you're focused on one enemy... And enemies can hit you from the back. The enemies can, like, hit you from the back. I'm like, this isn't fair. What am I supposed to do? I'm only focused on one enemy. It's not like here, where I can fight them all at once. You know, here, at least I can hit... I have attacks that'll hit multiples. But... in Shenmue, you're focused on one opponent, but if you're surrounded by multiples, they can hit you from the back and stuff. You know? Quick search mode. Yeah, this is from the first one. Used for examining pieces of evidence, examine your evidence thoroughly, yeah. It's the other reason why, like, Dead to Rights, which I don't know if you played that game. When I played that recently, I didn't really like the combat either in that game. Like, it's fine, but when you're against multiple enemies, it's just not fun, because there's no attacks for, like, hitting multiple enemies. When you're fighting multiple enemies, it's just broken pretty much, honestly. And I'm not trying to hate on Dead to Rights and stuff, you know. I'm not trying to, like, say that game's bad, because that was one of the games I remember growing up with. I remember watching my brother play that and stuff, and it was really cool and stuff. But playing it, I don't know. Just playing it again, don't know the game myself. Yeah, it was from Namco. It was a third-person shooter from 2002, I think. It was released on, like, Xbox, PS2, and I think it was the GameCube also it came out on. And then it got, like, 3 more titles, I think. The last one that came out was in 2010, but they haven't made another one since. But, I remember I did play, I played it recently because they made it, compatible on the Xbox One. And I played recent stuff, and, like, it was fun for them. Like, it's fun. Like, one-on-one fighting, it's fine. But when you're fighting multiple opponents, like, because there's a part where you're, like, in this prison, and you have to fight these inmates and stuff. It's honestly, it's a mess. I honestly don't really like the combat. It just does not feel good. And that's pretty much the same thing with Shenmue. And I would say that's the main problem with both games. Is fighting multiple opponents is just not fun. One-on-one, it's fine, but multiple opponents, it's not fun. You know, this is why, like, you know, Yakuza, it works because you have attacks that allow you to hit multiple enemies, you know. Whether it's your own attacks, like, not just because you have weapons and stuff so you can hit multiple enemies, but because you have other attacks too, like, of course, the EX boost, and of course you have a style, the crane style, that's good for, you know, taking care of multiple enemies, you know. But in those games, it's really hard to fight multiple enemies at once. Actually, I also remember, I never got to that part myself, but my brother, when I would watch him play it, there's this one part that is really cheap. So you have to fight this boss, and there's 3 other guys. And you may be thinking, okay, well, I can just get rid of those 3 guys, and then just, you know, focus on the, and then, you know, I could just focus on my stuff. No. You can't kill the 3 guys. You have to fight 3 enemies with a boss, and you have to fight the you have to fight 3 enemies that you can't kill against a boss, and they keep constantly hitting you. You could throw them and stuff, but you're not gonna be able to kill them. You cannot kill them. I'm like, wow, that's freaking BS. What kind of crap is that? It's one thing when you're fighting multiple enemies, but enemies that you can't even kill? Like, who designed that? That is horrible. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. You cannot kill those 3 enemies, and you have to defeat the boss. So pretty much you have to keep, in other words, you have to keep throwing the enemies away while you were fighting the boss. That's what you had to do pretty much. That does not sound fun. Now the shooting is fine. I think the shooting is actually fun. It has like bullet time and, you know, stuff like that. And you also had like this cool little dog. You had this like dog called, what was his name? Shadow, that's his name. He had this dog called Shadow, and you can actually get him to attack an enemy, he'll bring the gun to you. That's pretty cool. The shooting is definitely fun, and the music's pretty cool too. I recommend listening to the soundtrack, especially the club soundtrack. It's pretty awesome. But I don't know if I would really play it again nowadays. It just doesn't really feel that fun. And the thing is, it's not like, you know, it's not like I don't want to play old games. I mean, for goodness sakes, I still play some of my OG Xbox games, and of course my PS3. So it's not like I don't enjoy playing old games. I mean, I even also play Medal of Honor on PS1, you know. Which, funny enough, that game actually has a control scheme that's more like modern shooters, actually, where if you have an analog controller, you know, or a PS3 controller if you're playing on PS3, you can set it to where, like, you know, the analogs are for moving and aiming, and then L2 can be used for, you know... Now, it's not aim down sight like modern games, but you do get this target that pops up, so... But, you know... But yeah, you know, it's not like I don't enjoy old games stuff. There's some old games I still play, like Vanquished. I still play that game. It's just more so a case because they just don't age well. This is another cool Carto's super effective. Don't copy my moves. Alright. Really like the look of these fights. Really feels like they improved the Yakuza stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about this series. Just looks so fun to play. Definitely, Fleety. I definitely say yes. This game is really fun to play. Absolutely, I can recommend it. Even though this game never got a nomination at the Game Awards, which is stupid, because this game absolutely deserves a nomination. This game absolutely, definitely check it out. Highly recommend it. This game absolutely is, like, one of the, definitely my favorite of this year, absolutely. You know, but going back to what I was saying before, I just, you know, it's basically a case of just, if it just doesn't play that well, I'm not gonna really, you know, play and stuff. Like, what was another game I also played recently that was also that's also pretty old? Medal of Honor Airborne. I played that, and it does not feel that good to play, honestly. The controls are just really weird, and it's not like Call of Duty wasn't around that time, because Airborne came out in 2009 and Modern Warfare came out in 2007, so it's not like, you know, Call of Duty wasn't a thing. And that game really, like, Airborne, it feels weird to play, honestly. The controls just feel weird. I played it for like a little bit and I was like, I don't know, I can't play this. It just feels so weird. And I try to look for different, like, control schemes and there's nothing that feels good. Also, on top of that, you have to hold to sprint too, which I never liked that. I much prefer just tapping sprint. And heard of that one, but never played them. Only Medal of Honor game I played was Frontline. That's a fun one. Frontline, I remember playing that on the Xbox. That game was fun. I wish they would bring that game. Instead of Airborne, it should have been that game, Frontline. That game's a lot of fun. I mean, people do say Airborne is one of the more fun Medal of Honor titles. And I'm not going to say that if they like them, you know, they're dumb or anything. Just me personally, I just can't really get into it. I tried playing, like I said, I played it recently, and it just does not feel that good to play. It really does not, you know. But hey, maybe if you play it, maybe you'll enjoy it. Me, I can't, because the controls just feel really weird, you know. You know, like even like Medal of Honor on PS1, like, I can play the default control scheme and I can get used to that. You know, I can get used to the way how like the face buttons, certain ones are like for like strafing and stuff, you know. I can get used to that. But how Airborne does it, I don't know, it just feels really weird. Of all the ones they should have remastered was Frontline, but yeah, personally speaking, yeah, Frontline definitely, or Rising Sun. That's another fun Medal of Honor game. Rising Sun, that was another fun title. I really like that game too. I remember me and my brother, we played that game a lot because it had the the co-op campaign and it had the multiplayer. And what's cool is the multiplayer had bots, so you could play, you know, split screen along with, you know, a couple of other computer bots, which is cool. Rising Sun, forgot about that. That was fun. Yeah, definitely. That game was a lot of fun. Funny enough, that's actually, like, that was when I learned that Japan was involved in World War II, because before that game, I always thought that World War II was just us against, you know, the Germans, and then that was it, you know. But I had no idea that Japan was actually a major faction in World War II. Because this was before I got into history and stuff. This is before I started to learn about history and stuff, so, you know. So, that was another cool thing about Rising Sun. That basically taught me that Japan was another major faction in World War II. That was pretty cool to know. But, that might have been the last one I played. The last one I remember playing was, what was it? Warfighter, I think. But it wasn't at launch. It was when it came out on, it was when it came out on PS Plus, because it was on PS3. They made it PS Plus for a little bit, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good. I mean, it got pretty, like, bad reception, so when I played it, I was like, yeah, not really that good, honestly. I played it and it wasn't really that great. Yeah. Pretty much the problem with the last two, Warfighter and the 2010 one, the problem with those is because they basically were trying to be like not Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare especially. They were basically just trying to copy that. That's what they were doing. You know? Of course, they did try to, like, bring it back to World War II with that VR type, but I heard that one also wasn't too great, if I remember. I think people said that also wasn't that great. Like, there was, like, lots of glitches and stuff like that. Yeah, they were way too late in the cutscene. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were 4 years late, pretty much. Or 5 years. I think it's 5. Yeah, 5 years, yeah. They were 5 years late, yeah. Or no, yeah, 5 years, yeah. They were 5 years too late. By the time they released that game, it was pretty much... That's pretty much, I think, when fatigue set in for Modern Warfare games, I think, was around that time. Because after all, when 3 came out, that's sort of when, like, it kind of started, like, that's sort of when it was pretty much, like, starting, essentially, you know, was in 2011 with Modern Warfare 3. That's kind of when modern game fatigue kind of came in, or Modern Warfare fatigue set in, I should say. Yeah, you know. I remember there's this other, I'm trying to think of another. I also did play another game also that I did play was, Medal of Honor European Assault. I remember playing that. That was a pretty fun game. I never beaten it, but, that was a pretty fun game. Because you, like, go to, like, these different, like, battlegrounds and stuff around, like, Europe and stuff. Well, what was it? It was, like, there was, like, a level you were in Africa, I think. You're, like, in Africa. Then I think there was one where you're in Russia, and then I think in Norway, I think. I could be wrong. But, that was a pretty fun game, too. It was kind of funny, though, that they, it was kind of funny, though, that, like, that game sort of had, like, boss fights. It was kind of weird, honestly. I sort of remember that. Can't remember if I played it or watched a friend play, but it looks fun. Yeah, it was pretty fun, yeah. I remember my brother got and played it for a bit. Although we don't have it anymore. We don't have it anymore. He traded it in, so... yeah. It was a pretty fun game. That European Assault. Just not a... but yeah. When they tried to be, like, Modern Warfare and stuff, that's kind of when it was, like, starting to go downhill, and... yeah. And even when they brought it back to World War II with that VR title, it just didn't work out. It just didn't really work out. I think, unfortunately, at this point, just Medal of Honor is, like, pretty much done, essentially. At best, what they could do, and actually would be nice, is if they re-release the old Medal of Honor. Well, I think actually they are. I think you can get the first and Underground on PS3, if I remember, I think. I think you can actually get them on the PS3 store, if I remember. I know you can't get them on PS4, unfortunately. I wish, but I think it was on, I think they were available on PS3, I think, if I remember. I don't know, I could be wrong. You know. There's a lot of games on PS3 I wish they would bring to PS4. Like Fatal Frame 1, 2, and 3. I wish they would bring those to PS4. Drinking extracts will temporarily imbue you with special powers. Start drinking the... yeah, this was from the first game also, these extracts. These gave you, like buffs and stuff. But I didn't really use them. Not so much not because they weren't useful, more so the opposite. They're too powerful. They're really powerful, like I'm trying to remember what, there's a bunch of different ones. Use the Warrior, yeah. There you go. But, yeah, this is from the first one. These extracts, these are from the first Judgement game. And of course, this is the same guy that you would get them from. Although, unlike the first one, I didn't finish the extracts side quests. The first one I did, but this one I didn't. And not like I really needed to, because it's not because they're not useful, it's just that they're way too powerful, that's why. You know? I mean, if you want it to be just way more easier, then yeah, I would say then do it, but if you want a little more challenge, then I would say just, you know, just ignore them, essentially, you know? I mean, the first one, I didn't really use the extracts that much.
Hi.
But, yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least, like, Fatal Frame, like, on PS4, at least we have, was it Black Maiden? I think it was just called Black Main, I think, if I remember. That was a fun game, actually. That was actually the first Fatal Frame game I played, actually. And then a little later, then I got the first 3 on my my PS3. Now, of course, you may be... Now, thing is that the Black Maiden, that's the 5th title. You may be wondering, well, where's the 4th title? Well, because the 4th title is a Japan exclusive, that's why. That only came out in Japan, so... the only way to play it is you have to get a, what was it, a Japanese copy of the game, and then you have to, like, install this, like, kind of, like, third-party, like, translation thing or whatever. It'll put in, like, a fan translation is what it is, and then you can just play the game that way. So pretty much all I have are the first 3 and then 5 on PS4. That's basically what it is. Well, first 3 on PS3 and then the 5th one on PS4. So I really like it. It was a lot of fun, surprisingly. I definitely recommend checking it out if you get the chance. Fatal Frame. It's a lot of fun. The only thing I hated in that game was these stupid ghost hands that keep grabbing you. They were like, every time, because whenever you're picking up an item, it would do this thing where like you're like kind of like moving slowly towards it, and then what would happen is there's a chance that this ghost hand will like come out and then it'll like grab you, and then if it grabs you, you have to like shake it off and it'll like do a little bit of damage. But if you're quick enough, you can pull your hand out and then it'll miss you, and then you can just grab the item. But I've always hated that because one, it's not scary. That's not scary, and 2, it's annoying because you're not even taking that much damage, so it's just wasting time. Is all it is, you know. It doesn't necessarily like ruin the game entirely. Like it doesn't necessarily change from like an 8 to like a 1, but it is something that gets really annoying. And the movement also is a little clunky too in Black Maiden. Or no, was it Maiden of Blackwater? Is that what it was called? No, I think it was just Black Maiden, I think it was called. I don't know, I think I'll just look it up actually. I'll look up later. But it's a lot of fun, surprisingly. You know. I wish I got into the Fatal Frame games a lot earlier. I mean, I don't know if I was a kid, I don't think I would have been able to play those games, and if anything, I think they would have pretty much made me poop my pants. I think they would have made me poop my pants. So, yeah. But yeah. Plus also, I mean, it also helps that I really like Japanese, like, ghost and stuff like that. There's something about, like, Japan with how they do ghosts. It's a lot more interesting than how the West does ghost. Not to say that, like, in the West they can't do like these cool looking like ghosts or anything. I'm not saying they can't do anything cool or anything, but I think Japan, when it comes to like creating ghosts and stuff in video games, I think they do a much better job. It just creates really like unique ones and stuff, you know. And also because I love The Grudge too. I like The Grudge, the Japanese one. I've never actually haven't watched the American remake. I actually haven't watched that one, but I have watched the Japanese original, and I really like it. It's a really good, scary film. You know, I think pretty much that film is what made me interested in like Unreal Ghost, which is what the one Kyako. That's what she's supposed to be. I always like the look of Unreal Ghost. There's just something so, like, in a sense, like, I think that's what makes them so, like, what makes them interesting, because they have this creepy look, but at the same time, it's like, there's a weird sense of, like, beauty to them, you know? There's, like, a weird sense of, like, beauty to them. And I guess that kind of reflects nature in a way, because, after all, there are things that are beautiful, but at the same time, dangerous. You know, like the ocean, for example. The ocean can be beautiful, but at the same time, it can be a really dangerous thing, you know? After all, floods, tsunamis, and stuff like that, so... I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into it. but I think that's one of the reasons why, you know. But, yeah. But anyway, yeah. Actually, another title I also really liked also was, Deep Thoughts There Bud, but healthy. But, what was another game that there actually is? What was it? Alien Trilogy. That's what it was. I remember that game scared the crap out of me, pretty much. And funny enough, it wasn't necessarily because of xenomorphs. It was facehuggers, because there was just, well, first off, they just moved so weird. They looked and they moved really weird. But the other thing that really creeped me out too was because I always hated when they attack you, because then they like get up to your face and stuff, and I don't know, there's something so creepy about it in the PS1, like the graphics of the PS1. It just looked creepy because it looks like it has a face. That's what it looks like, and I don't know, it always freaked me out. Every single time a facehugger would come up on the screen, I always like turn away and stuff because it's just too creepy to look at. And actually, I'll admit, even nowadays, it still creeps me out. Not as much, but it still freaks me out. You know? It still freaks me out. You know? But that was a fun game, too. Alien Trilogy, I really like that game, too. I have yet to watch any of the Alien movies. Oh, really, Felitti? You haven't seen any of the Alien films? Okay, you gotta leave the stream right now and watch them. Just get off the stream right now and watch the Alien films. Definitely watch them. You know what? That's it. You know what, Fleety? Because you haven't watched the Alien films, I'm gonna ban you off the channel. And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just not had the chance to. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely watch those films. Those are really good movies. Especially the first two. I mean, I don't hate 3 and 4. Like, those are pretty good movies, actually. Those are pretty good films. I think probably, like, what was it? Alien Covenant, like, banned Fleety Fly. I didn't, like, I think probably the one I didn't really like was Covenant, like, it was cool to finally see, like, it was cool to see, like, the Xenomorph, but I don't know, it just, I didn't really like that film as much. Even before I saw the film, I wasn't necessarily, like, too excited, honestly, and pretty much after the film, I was like, it was alright. I'll just stick to the first 2, or even 3 and Resurrection, you know? I'd much rather watch those, you know? Those films, in my opinion, are, like, you know, obviously 1 and 2, of course, I mean, that's, 1 and 2 are pretty much like Terminator 1 and 2, you know? Terminator 1 and 2, it's basically like the Alien and Aliens, they're pretty much like Terminator 1 and 2. Nothing can really top those films, you know? You can make something decent, but I don't think you're gonna be able to, like, outmatch those films, you know? So, but yeah, definitely check out, I do love Terminator 1 and 2. Yeah, same. I actually remember watching the second one first, and then the first one. So, and it was funny because, so when I watched the first one, I was like, wait a minute, he's the bad guy? I thought he was supposed to be the good guy. You know? I kind of wish I saw the first one, like, first, and then the second one, but, and they're both good anyway, so, you know. But it was kind of funny because I saw the second one, and then when I saw the first one, then I was like, wait a minute, he's the bad guy? I thought he was supposed to be, like, protecting, like, you know, I thought he was supposed to be, like, the good guy and stuff, but, of course, now, obviously, I understand that, obviously, you know, because in the second one, he got reprogrammed, of course, so, you know. But yeah, it's the Alien films, Alien 1 and Aliens, definitely great, you know, horror films, you know, absolutely amazing, you know. And I gotta say, the special effects on the first two Alien films, they still hold up really well. You know, that goes to show you how that, like, you know, that practical effects can age really well compared to CGI. Not to say that CGI is bad; it can be used well, but nowadays it's like they kind of like oversaturate everything with CGI. You know, obviously in certain situations, yeah, it makes sense to use CGI, but, you know, obviously the second Terminator film, for example, that one actually uses it really well. Those special effects really haven't aged, they haven't really aged that badly. They still look really good in the second film. Well, even the first one. I always say a good use of CGI is when you don't notice it's CGI. Exactly. When you don't even notice it's CGI, like you're so immersed, that's how you know it's good. Which is why in Terminator 2, you don't think it's CGI. You just think like, oh man, this thing's like reforming itself and stuff. You know, you don't see it as CGI. You just see this as, you know, oh, this thing's just, because you're so immersed in the film and you don't think about it, you know? It's not like other films where you're like, oh, like, okay, so they used the CG monster and, you know, stuff like that. But with Terminator, you know, you don't really think like that because you're so into the film that doesn't really cross your mind, you know? It doesn't really cross your mind. I mean, to a certain extent, it's gonna be there. Like, you're gonna know it's CGI, but when it looks really good, you're not really gonna be thinking about it too much, you know? When it's bad, you're pretty much gonna be thinking like, oh, okay, this is not that good looking, but when it's good, you know, you're not gonna be thinking too much about it, you know? Interesting to say that because when you start watching the second, you don't know if he's good or not. Actually, I think I actually did know he was a good guy. I think it's just because my dad told me, I think. My dad told me, which obviously I'm not like, you know, oh, like, why did he tell me that and stuff, you know? You know? I think he did tell me, because they did see it first. They saw it first, obviously. Because that came out, like, 6 years before I was, like, born, so... Spoilers, yeah. Yeah. Well, because that film came out 6 years earlier before I was born. Because that came out in 91, that's why, so... But... yeah. It's still a good movie, even with, like, you know, it's still a good movie. It will always be a classic. Terminator 2, it will always be a classic. Yeah. Actually, even 3 and Salvation, I think, are pretty good. Now, I think where it really gets bad is Genesis and especially Dark Fate. I do not like those two films. Those two films are not that great, in my opinion. But 3 is pretty decent. Obviously, nowhere as good as the first two, but I think it's still pretty decent. And Salvation, like, I think it deserves a lot of credit for doing something different, because it's not just another time travel film. We're actually in the war, you know. Anything 3 and beyond, fair to get some ground though. Not for me, sadly. Yeah, definitely. We can't deny that. After the second film, the rest haven't been as good. Definitely, we can all agree on that. That after 2, those films pretty much couldn't really live up to the first 2, you know. I think at best they could make, like, decent ones, like 3 and especially Salvation. I think Salvation is the best one post Terminator 2. I think that's definitely the best one because it tried something different with where it's in the future war. You know, and it kind of sucks we didn't really get, because apparently there was actually supposed to be a trilogy, and it was supposed to be building up to where they use laser guns and stuff, because obviously in the first one we don't see them use any laser guns. They're still using, like, ballistic weapons, you know. They're still using guns that shoot bullets and stuff, you know. Same thing with the Terminators. They're not using lasers, they're using, like, miniguns and stuff, so you know, which is why people say that Terminator Resistance is many consider that to be the real 3, because, you know, that one because it ties in nicely to the other films. And I definitely agree, yeah, I think Resistance, to me, would be, like, the 3rd Terminator film. It's certainly a lot better than Dark Fate, which is kind of funny because both of them came out in a short time period, and it's also funnier considering that the people who made Resistance are the same people that did the Rambo the Vader game, which, if you've never seen that, it's very bad. It's a very bad license film, you know, or a license game, sorry. It's a really bad one. It's a really bad game. So it's really funny that these guys actually, like, it's really funny that these guys actually made a fun Terminator game, you know? That's even better than the newer film, you know? Still yet to finish, was kind of great. The game feels like a sequel to the old, kind of strange, but it does have that feel. Yeah, exactly. Resistance feels a lot more like a sequel to the films than Genesis, or especially Dark Fate. Dark Fate is, I do not like that film. Terrible Terminator film. I mean, if you enjoy it, obviously that's cool. That's your opinion. Me personally, I don't like it. I absolutely do not like it. Along with my family too, they don't like it either. So, but Resistance actually, like, I would definitely say is definitely, like, the best story since, I would definitely say it's like one of the best Terminator stories nowadays, you know? Didn't watch Dark Fate, not gonna either. Yeah. I'm definitely not gonna watch that film again. Absolutely not. I've already seen it once, I don't need to see it again. We actually didn't see it in theaters when it first came out. We saw it much later. I think we saw it a year later or something at home, and I didn't really like it, you know. I think the only thing I can say that I thought was pretty cool was the Terminator Rex, I think that's what it's called, which is the antagonist. I like the concept of it. It could, like, split into 2 different forms. That was actually kind of cool, but aside from that, I didn't really like it. It's not a good film, you know. The evil Terminator, it's a cool concept. I do like it, but the film itself, everything else, just not that great. I did not like it. I didn't like it a lot. Even with Sarah returning and Linda Hamilton reprising the role, I still didn't really like the film. You know, I definitely didn't like that movie. Definitely Resistance, which I didn't also play at launch because this is before I got a job and stuff, so I couldn't play it. But I've been hearing good things about it. Of course, recently, yeah, I did get it, and I also beat it too, and it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun, surprisingly. Oh, I think I'm on the... Oh, no, I'm on the right floor, okay. Back in and out with kiddo duties. But definitely, like, you know, the Resistance, I definitely enjoy a lot. It's a pretty short game, and, you know, yeah, it's pretty, like, a lot of stuff is stuff that we've seen in other shooters, but what matters is that it's fun, and it is. It's a really fun game. Yeah. No worries, Dime, you're good. No worries, Dime. It's good to see you back. But, yeah. We were just talking about Terminator. That a massive update to the game on Steam today. I think that's to do with this DLC. Yeah, I remember it, I think it launched yesterday or today. I think it was, yeah, well, you said today, so yeah. I think it came out today, the DLC, yeah. The Annihilation Line DLC, it's called. Unfortunately, I can't play it or the other DLC because it's only on PC and PS5, which really sucks. Kind of sucks that PS4 and Xbox players they can't well, PS4 and Xbox One players they can't play it, unfortunately. Well, not even Series X because the Enhanced Edition didn't come out on Series X. It only came out on PS5, which is really weird. I find that really weird, to be honest. But I can't play it, unfortunately, but I still enjoy the game, definitely. I still enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, definitely. It definitely gives me a Crisis vibe. The Resistance, that's definitely what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Crisis. I definitely get that vibe from it. I mean, it may not have the graphics of Crisis, but you know, as long as you feel like you're in the Terminator like world and stuff, you know, you feel like you're in the future war. That's pretty much all you need. You don't really need to like make it all like, you know, you don't really need like superb graphics to be like a good game, you know. Because graphics don't automatically make a good game. Because we've seen many times where a game can have really good graphics, but they're like either boring or just not fun, you know? Because after all, at the end of the day, it's gameplay that matters. Because after all, that's why we play games in the first place, you know? That's why games are made in the first place to play, you know? I would say story is actually more important than graphics. Like, it would be gameplay, story, music, and then, like, last would be graphics. That's what I would say. Because the thing is, because the analogy I use for a good game is basically gameplay is your foundation. You know, it's the foundation of the building, you know, that's what you need to make something, you know? And then graphics and like, you know, stuff like that. Those are basically like buildings on the foundation, you know, houses or buildings, you know, whatever it is, you know. You know, that's basically what they are. They're like these houses or buildings that, you know, were made on the foundation. If your foundation's good, in other words, your gameplay is good, even if, like, one or two or some of those other things aren't that great, as long as your gameplay is fun, you know, then the buildings are fine pretty much, you know. Then the buildings and houses or whatever are fine, you know. But if your gameplay isn't good, in other words, your foundation is not good, everything comes crumbling down because I'm not gonna play it if the gameplay isn't fun. I'm not gonna play it, you know. It has to be fun. If it's not fun, I'm not gonna play it. Which means that the graphics, the music and stuff, and the story, if it's good, it's a waste, you know. You know, it's pretty much a waste now, because since I'm not gonna play it, those things don't matter now. Those things don't matter. Even if you have a great story, a fantastic soundtrack, amazing graphics, those aren't gonna mean much if your gameplay isn't that good. In other words, your foundation is bad, so now those things are gonna come crumbling down because I'm not gonna play it in the end. So, you know. It's a weird analogy, but that's basically what it is, you know. Gameplay is your foundation, everything else is, you know... I'm not saying that, you know, like, music can enhance a game or anything like that, you know. Definitely music's important, you know. Like I said, I think story and music are also important, you know. Graphics, on the other hand, like... Now, obviously, of course, I mean, they obviously have to look good somewhat, you know. At the very least, like, they have to give you indications, you know, of certain things, you know. If it doesn't give you indication of a certain thing, definitely, yeah, that can be a problem, you know. But what I mean by graphics is, like, how detailed it is and stuff, you know. It doesn't matter if your gameplay is, like, super... Like, for example, like, Red Dead Redemption, like, the second one, I should say, like I played it for a bit, and yeah, graphics-wise, it looks really nice with all these deals and stuff, but I can't really get into it. Now, obviously, there's lots of people that can get into it, and, you know, that's cool and stuff, you know. But I can't really get into it, so, you know. Although, I guess that's not really a good one to bring up, because actually the gameplay in that one is fun. I guess it's just more of a case of just because I'm just not really into that game, so I guess it's not really fair to bring up, you know. That doesn't necessarily have bad gameplay, it's just simply I'm not interested in it, so I guess that's not really a fair like thing to say. But yeah. And actually, speaking of graphics, it's actually kind of funny that like certain games from like back in the day can still look really good, even on older like consoles and stuff. Like for example, like Dead or Alive 3 and well, 3, Ultimate 2, and 4. Those games still look pretty good. Those games still look really great for games that came out a decade ago, pretty much. It still looks great, surprisingly. But yeah, you know. Now, of course, if your game has great graphics and it's fun, then definitely, yeah. It'll definitely make it more iconic and stuff, you know. But it's not necessarily needed for a game to be fun. Because I played games that had, like, either standard or, like bad graphics, but I play them because they're just fun to play, you know. If anything, I think performance, and that's another thing too, performance, that's way more important. I'm on the fence about those kinds of games. What the, especially if controls are wonky. Yeah, that's the thing. Controls, performance, playing older games. Yeah, you definitely have a point there, absolutely, you know. Some games definitely, like, back in the day, like, they don't necessarily, like, they don't really age too well with their controls and stuff. Like, before, I was actually talking about, Shenmue. Like, I'm trying to play MGS1 again, the camera controls are, yeah, certain games, when you play them, like, when you play certain old games, yeah, they feel really weird to play. Like, I was talking about not too long ago about, Shenmue. I was talking about how, like, you can get through these areas by taking a running start and then pressing circle at the exact right time. While running, press X to sprint, then press circle when prompted. And then iron ball vaulting, press X to run, then press circle when prompted. Like I was talking about not too long ago where, I was talking about how, like, Shenmue, I played that game, and like, I didn't really enjoy it, because I just did not like the control, especially when it comes to the combat, the controls, it's not great, honestly. The controls for that game, when you're doing combat and stuff, it's not really that fun, honestly. It just feels really weird to play, and it doesn't help that you can only focus on, like, one enemy. You can only focus on one enemy, and if you're fighting multiple enemies, it just makes it even harder now. Jumping while climbing, move and then press circle, and then, yeah. But, yeah, you know. Definitely, like, you know, control, performance, those are definitely more important than graphics. Especially because, at some point, like, there's definitely exceptions, but, you know, for the most part, it's gonna age, you know. Graphics are gonna age, and they're not gonna look as good as a game that comes out later, you know. You know, so gameplay is what's gonna keep people coming back to it, you know. Because after all, that's what brings people back to play certain games, and that's why certain games people keep wanting to keep bringing back, you know. That's also why I play certain games even a decade later. You know, like Vanquish, for example. That came out in 2010, but I still play it. You know. And why did I play that? Well, because control-wise, it feels really nice, and gameplay-wise, it's very fun. That's why I still play it to this day. You know. Even like, what was it, like Medal of Honor, for example. Even that game, like, when on PS1, I can play that game and I can still do well. And actually, what's cool is that game actually has, which is kind of funny because this is a game that came out before like modern games were popular and stuff. It actually has a control scheme where like L2 is the aim. I think I mentioned this before. L2 is the aim, and then what was it? L2 is the aim. R2's to fire, squares to reload, and oh, I gotta scan. I gotta look at this. That's why. There you go. Yeah. Even Resident Evil, to an extent, I can get used to. Tank controls are definitely like weird, but I can get used to them somewhat. I mean, obviously, if I'm playing like the remake, I just use analog, so but I can get used to tank controls. I can get used to those. I can still get used to the controls of like Fatal Frame 1 than what was oh man, I just had the game in my head and now I can't remember it now. I can't remember now. Dang it. Yeah. Yo, Kitsuru, how you doing? I said that because so that way it's a little easier to say. You don't mind me saying Kitsuru, right? You don't mind me calling you that? But how you doing? Good to see you. Just playing some Lost Judgment, of course. I hope your day's going good.
ちょっと待った。待ってもらえません？
手上げて後ろ向け。誰だお前。ここで何してた？八神隆之。八神探偵事務所？
ええ。
Of course not. If it's easier for you, you can just call me Kid. Okay. I'll just say Kits. I'll just say actually Kitsuru. I think that's actually a little. I'll just say that. I think that's actually a little better to say actually. But okay, like I can call you Kid as well. Okay. But I'll just say Kitsuru. I'll just say that actually. But yeah, it's good to see you. I hope your day's going good. I'm doing good myself.
何考えてんだよ。勝手に現場入り込みやがって。
いや、ここは皆さんもう調べ終わってるんだろうなと思ってつい。何か。
お前さ、源田法律事務所の依頼で動いてねえか？ん？白崎先生に頼まれたんだろう。白崎沙織、あのすんげえ不愛想な。なんでそれを？三越場の死体が出てすぐのことだ。
I was really tired earlier, so I took a nap. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you feel like, you know, hopefully you feel better, you're not like tired or anything now. I mean, if you still are, then no worries, you know, like if you need rest, no worries.
Genda 法律事務所はカムロ町にある。そしてお前は同じ事件でわざわざカムロ町から出張ってきたって探偵だ。つまり、お前と白崎先生は繋がっている。だよな。
さすが刑事さん。じゃあ俺の素性も知れたし、もう手錠はいらなくないっすか？
それはこっちで判断する。そんなことよりお前よ。さっきの俺の話、どう思う？
I'm probably gonna get back into RPGs and stream on Monday. Oh, okay, Kitsuru. Okay, that's cool. What are you planning on streaming for an RPG?
そこに触れてくれるなってのはいくら警視庁様でもわがままが過ぎる。
I imagine you're probably gonna play Tales. I imagine Tales of Arise probably. If I remember, I think you said you didn't finish that, right? You didn't finish that game yet.
残念だったな。奴らは江原をかばいたいわけじゃねえ。今時組織が部下の不始末かばや。
Playing original Final Fantasy 7 for the first time. Oh, okay, cool. Nice. I haven't finished the original Final Fantasy 7. I haven't actually finished that one. I played some of it on my my PS Classic console. Or mini console, I should say, making it sound like I'm talking about the original PlayStation console, but I have it on my mini console. It's pretty fun, but I haven't finished it yet, though. I did finish the remake, though. I finished 7 Remake, though. That's a really fun title. I really liked 7 Remake. I actually need to finish that too, actually. 7 Remake, I need to finish that too. I haven't finished that game yet. I think I'm like, what, halfway through that game now? Or something? I can't remember. I know I made some progress in that game. I made some progress in that game. How was 7 Remake so far? Can't play it sadly, but looks good. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, Fleety. It's a lot of fun. Actually, the cool well, unfortunately, the thing that sucks is because you do need Epic Games. They are gonna put it on PC, but you need Epic Games because it's gonna be an exclusive. I think it's gonna be like an exclusive for a year or something on Epic, and then it'll come on Steam. But for now, it's just only gonna be on Epic. So, you know, it's cool that it's on PC, but it just sucks that it's gonna be exclusive. This is gonna be such a waste of time, but I want some for these cops myself. Just to collaborate with these guys and give them a little more insight.
Thisなんてどうですかね?
お前これ三越柴弘場所はここだ殺される直前かどこで手に入れた
On sale on PS.
どういうことなんだ
Oh, okay, Kitsuru, that's cool. I do forget they do have the original 7 on PS4. I do keep forgetting about that. Actually, I forgot it's also on Xbox and Switch too. I forgot about that too. Actually, speaking of Final Fantasy on Switch, I actually want to get what was it, 12? I think Final Fantasy 12, and I also want to get Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 on the Switch. I want to get those 2 on the Switch as well. Mostly because I want to be able to that way I could like play them on the go and stuff, you know. Love 10 and 12, great games. Yeah, I didn't get into Final Fantasy till what was it, 15? But it wasn't when it came out. It was when it was the Royal Edition came out. That's when I got into it. I've got 8, but never played it. Want to start that? Oh, okay. That got a remaster, right? On 8 got a remaster, if I remember. I think. Yeah, it did get a remaster. Yeah, I remember it like got a remaster. But yeah, like I want to get like Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, and 12 on the Switch. Normally I would get them on my PlayStation, but because I want to be able to like, so that way like if I'm like going somewhere, then I can just play them like on the go, you know, because then I can bring my Switch and then I can just play them while I'm like on a trip or something, you know. That's something one I want to get for my my Switch. I want to get a lot of RPGs for it, you know. Yeah. I mean, of course, obviously, if it's exclusive to Switch, well, obviously, yeah, I'm gonna get it there, of course. You know. But certain games, especially RPGs, I want to get them on the Switch. The times when I wish for a PS4. Yeah, that really sucks, Flea, that you can't play the 7 remake. That really sucks. I mean, the only way you can play it is on PS5 through the what was it called? I'm trying to remember what it was called again. I'm trying to remember. Still got the classics. Yeah, you're right, Fleety, yeah. I couldn't think of what game to do next, so I figured I'd get back into RPG. Oh, okay, Kitsuru, okay. Honestly, there's a lot of games that I played and I haven't finished. Like 1 for 101, I still haven't finished that game. I did, I think, like one part of it and I still haven't played it a while. Final Fantasy 7 I gotta finish. Oops, sorry about that. I hate that. I keep yawning. I hate that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I need to finish that. I have to finish. I have to finish Final Fantasy 7. I have to finish 1 for 101. What else? I have to finish. Sometimes have the same problem about what to pick, but at the end of the day, just play what you want to play. Yeah, you're definitely right, Footy. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely important to play something that you like, instead of forcing yourself to play. Which, actually, in hindsight, when I did that birthday stream with Far Cry 3, honestly, I felt like I just picked it just because to pick a game. And I think, honestly, in hindsight, that was kind of dumb, to be honest. I'm actually kind of thinking of deleting that video, honestly. The Far Cry 3 birthday stream. I'm thinking of deleting that, honestly, because honestly, I'm not really much in a mood to play Far Cry, honestly. I don't know, maybe I'll just leave it there, but I don't know, I'm not really much in a mood to play Far Cry. Like, I like, my brother has Far Cry 6 and he got it for me, but I haven't really played it in a while. I just really haven't been in the mood to play Far Cry. Back then I used to. Back then I used to play a lot of it. Especially when 4 came out and stuff. But pretty much after 5 and stuff. Like, I've been 5, but I haven't really gotten back to it. And 6, I'm still at the beginning. I still haven't played in a while. I just really haven't been interested in it, honestly. Don't delete it, but it's good to know that at the same time. Okay, Flea, yeah. Yeah, it's, in hindsight, when I think about it, it's just something that it felt like I just picked, just because. You know, because of my birthday, I have to pick a game. But honestly, in what I should have done, I think this would have been a way better idea, is Vanquish again. Like, I've beaten it, but on the God hard difficulty. That's, I think, what I should have done. I think that would have been a way better birthday stream, because that would have been something fun, and at the same time would have been hilarious, because and also because it's something I never beaten Vanquish on God hard difficulty. I played a little bit of it on the difficulty, and it's brutal. I think the next time that we do a birthday stream or something, I think I'll do that. I'll do Vanquish, but I'll play it on the God hard difficulty. That'll think be a good one. And that'll definitely be something that I think I'll be more, like, that'll be more of something that I'm actually, like, really into than with, like, Far Cry, because it just felt like, because, like, when I did Far Cry, it just felt like something I just did. It just felt like I just picked it just because. I didn't really feel like I picked it because I wanted to play it. It just felt like I picked it just because. My friend keeps going to me to play a Zelda game since I never played one, even though I ironically main Young Link in Smash. That's funny. Yeah, I never played any of the, well, technically I did one time, but it wasn't like a main series one. It was a spin-off. It was Hyrule Warriors. That's technically the first Zelda game I played, but that's because it was the same people that did Dynasty Warriors, which I really like. I really like Dynasty Warriors. I've always enjoyed that game. So, like, but it wasn't the full game, though, because we never had a Wii U. It was just a demo of the game. And it was fun, but I never really... I didn't really play the full game, you know? So, that's pretty much, like, the only one I've played. So, technically, that's, like, the one Zelda game I played, but it's not, like, a real Zelda game. That was just a spin-off. So... But, actually, I'm kind of interested. What I'm actually interested in is Xenoblade. I'm actually interested in that series, because I've heard it's one of the best RPGs on the Switch. 1 and 2, and I think 1 and 2 are on the Switch. And I think 2 has that collector's one where you get the DLC included. I think I could be wrong, but I'm actually interested in Xenoblade, actually. I'm actually interested in that. And the funny thing is, one of my mains in Smash is the main character. I forgot his name. Again. I'm trying to remember his name. He has, like, the sword, and he would always go, like, back slash, he would do that, and then the air slash, he would do that. I forgot his name. I'm trying to remember his name. But I know he's the main character, I just don't remember his name. Never played Hyrule Warriors, but would love to play it simply because I love Dynasty Warriors. Yeah, same thing, Fleefa. Yeah, I like Dynasty Warriors. That series is a lot of fun. Actually, I forgot, actually, Samurai Warriors. I forgot recently a new one came out. Shulk, right, thank you, Kitsuru, thank you, Shulk, that's his name, yeah, Shulk. I play him on Smash. He's a pretty fun character. I love that ability where he can, like, swap to different, like, not like a perk, it's more of like a, style or something like that. Not style, but, like, I guess we'll just say a bonus or something like that, you know? Like, I like that about him. He can pick between different, like, bonuses and stuff that, like, affect some, like, one of my personal favorites is Shield, because that one makes it where it's harder for them to knock you off the stage, so, Xenoblade I've seen, but never played. It seems interesting. Yeah, I've actually seen, what was it? I think the first Xenoblade game I recall seeing was Chronicles X on the Wii U. I remember seeing that game, and it looked really cool, actually. I kind of wish that game got released on the Switch. I don't know why it didn't get released on Switch. It's kind of weird because they released the first one on Switch, so kind of weird that one didn't get released. I don't know if it's because it didn't sell well, or just because, I don't know. Maybe it just didn't sell too well. I don't know. I don't know, cause, you know. But it looks really cool because it's like you can like control like, because at first like you're just like, you know, you're just this simple grunt, but then you can use like a mech and stuff, and that looked really cool actually. That looks really cool. You know, I kind of wish that game came out on Switch. Chronicles X. I wish that came out on Switch. But the other one, Xenoblade 1 and 2, I never played or seen those. Though if I remember, I think they were turn-based, if I remember. Except for X. X was like a real-time combat game. That one, it was real-time. But I think the 1 and 2, I think, are turn-based. If I remember. I don't want to sound greedy, but I want to play games I don't enjoy, but I also want to get more viewers. I almost never get more than 2. Yeah, I get what you're saying, yeah. Same here, yeah. It almost feels like you have to play popular games to get people to watch. And that's the thing that's annoying, because it's like, you don't you don't want to just play the popular games just because, like, you don't want to force yourself to play those games, you know. If anything, this is why I tend to play more games that are more unknown, because I just don't, because, well, one, because I usually enjoy these games, and also because it's also in the hopes of that, so that way people can check these games out, and, you know, hopefully they'll enjoy them too, you know. Like Apex, I mean, plenty of people stream that game, so it's, you know, it's not like I really need to, like, stream that game. Maybe I might get more viewers, but I'm pretty sure that a majority of those viewers play it anyway, you know? But with something more like this, like Lost Judgment or something, you know, I do hope that at least it gets people more into these titles, you know? Now, of course, I mean, if you enjoy playing those popular games like Apex stuff, that's obviously fine. I mean, you stream whatever you want, of course, you know. If you really enjoy Apex, and I've seen people, they just stream that, and I can tell they're having fun, and yeah, that's great, you know. If you're, what matters is you're having fun streaming. You know, if you're having fun, that's a good thing, you know. But, you know, but at the same, it does feel like they want you to play the popular games, you know, like Apex, Warzone, you know, it's like they want you to play that, you know, instead of playing the more niche stuff, which is kind of dumb because it's like, kicking stuff during chase, things like soccer balls or buckets maybe on the road, if you know your target those, yeah. But, yeah, it feels like they want you to, like, you know, it feels like they're really trying to, like, you know, make you play the more popular titles instead of just playing whatever you want and stuff, you know? And, you know, this is why I definitely enjoy playing more, you know, niche games and stuff, you know, because, well, one, because I like I said, I enjoy these games, but also it's in the hopes that, you know, I can, get more people into these games, you know? Like, when I played Vanquish, when I played Vanquish, like, when I streamed it, it wasn't just simply because I liked it. I mean, certainly, yeah, that was a big part of it, but it wasn't just simply that. It was because also in the hopes that more people can play that game, you know, that more people will be interested in it, you know, because that's one of the benefits about Twitch, too, is because it helps to bring more people into a game, you know? It's not a guarantee, of course, but it certainly can help a game get more exposure, you know. You have a PS account, you can log into the PS Line service and play those titles via cloud service if you want. I don't know if you're talking to, if you're talking to me, Dime, or if you're talking to Kitsuru. I don't know if you're talking to me or him. If you're talking to me, well, yeah, I do. And yeah, like, I know they have that PlayStation Now, but, I don't know, like, the problem is because the connection isn't that great. I remember I would try playing, I remember I would play, what was it, when I did a free trial of PlayStation Now, I played, Virtua Fighter, 5, not the new one, the Final Showdown, the older one, the older version. I played that through the PlayStation Now, and the thing was I couldn't download it, so I had to play through the cloud, and it was not that great because it would keep occasionally, like, dipping, the connection would keep dipping, and it would just cause tons of lag and stuff, and it's like, I can't play this with lag. I can't play this. So, yeah. Thankfully, we got that Ultimate Showdown. We got that, at least. So that's good. But I would definitely say, like, the Game Pass on Xbox is definitely better. Because you can actually download the game, that's why. Because you can actually download. You can play through the cloud, but you can download it. You can download it so you don't have to worry about, you know. Yeah. It's a paid sub, it gives you access to any PS titles, yeah. That's zero high. Man, are these guys seriously not linked to the crime in any way?
こっちこっち。
お連れの方も身分証をお願いできますか。ご協力ください。鍋さん。
では皆さん、もうお帰りいただいて結構です。ご協力どうも。裏が取れた。結局。
Additional tip I learned is to come with in-house for streams, but unfortunately I'm not the best at. Yeah, same here, Kitsura. Like, occasionally I might come up with some pretty cool title stuff, but for the most part, I can't really come up with anything cool. I mean, even my descriptions on my like when I post these streams on YouTube, they're sometimes not usually something like amazing or anything. So, yeah. So, yeah, I definitely understand that, yeah. I bet you Yokohama 99, then I can give Story-san a call. Do you think it requires an official PS4 controller? The controller is not supported. It kind of sucks you can't use a PS5 controller on a PS4. Man, that would have been really cool if you could. Because you can use PS4 controllers on PS3. Well, I mean, for certain games at least, you can use them. Other ones, you have to use the PS3 controller. But I kind of wish you could play a PS5 controller. You could use a PS5 controller on a PS4. Because, well, what's funny is you can use PS4 controllers on the PS5, but you can't use PS5 on PS4. I find that weird, honestly. I find that really weird, honestly. Oh, this is like another side quest. It's supposed to be like wiretapping and stuff. This scene is sponsored by Boss. Look up where it's happening, Buster. Yeah, we got up on the Gotta head over here. Did you watch the video I sent in your Discord that took the other stream PS3 games? Yeah, Kitsuru, yeah, I saw it, yeah. Thank you very much, I really appreciate that, yeah. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to, like, stream, like... I don't want to say that I'll be able to do it in, like, a pretty quick time, because... The thing is, I have all this stuff here, so... plus also, I gotta make sure that, you know, like, I can figure out a way to stream... Well, because one, I need a capture card, that's one thing. And the other thing too is that hopefully, I can, well, that, and also I need an HD splitter too. I don't have that either, so I need that also. I am hoping that my Chromebook can work as a monitor, hopefully. I am hoping that, you know, my Chromebook laptop can work as like a monitor in a way, you know. If it can't, then, yeah. I'm gonna have to like get like a monitor, like a PC and stuff. I'm gonna have to get that then. If it can't work, then hey, that's cool. Then I can play I can stream PS3 titles, which is awesome because there's ones here that I absolutely wanna. There's absolutely some titles on. If you don't have a capture card, how are you streaming right now? Oh, because I stream just from the console itself. That's why. because the consoles have built-in streaming. I can stream on my PlayStation and my Xbox because they both have built-in streaming. PS3 I can't because obviously it doesn't have built-in streaming, and the Switch same thing. Switch also doesn't have any built-in streaming. So if I want to stream Switch games, I also have to do the same thing for that too. I need a capture card and a monitor also. So, yeah. Yeah. If I need a capture card for my Xbox and PlayStation 4, I wouldn't be streaming right now, pretty much. You know? Then I wouldn't be streaming right now at all, actually.
Hi.
But yeah, that's how I'm streaming these games. Didn't know the Switch doesn't have Stream Tech. Nintendo must really hate streaming. Yeah. I mean, they're not exactly the best when it comes to online stuff, so yeah. So, yeah, they're not exactly the best when it comes to online stuff. It is a bit pricey, but I highly recommend getting the Elgato HD 60S Plus. It's easy to set up and there's no delay. You have to set commit compared to OT. I'm guessing it's supposed to say something, but I guess it got cut off or something. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I need a and definitely a PC would be nice too. Also, definitely. There's some games on PC that I absolutely would love to stream. Also.
Nah.
I'm not sure what I would stream. But definitely there's a lot of games on PC that I absolutely would like to stream too. But yeah. But yeah, also thank you, Kitsuru, for reminding me of the, I forgot to mention yesterday I had a Discord. I made a Discord. I forgot about that, actually. Thank you for bringing that up, actually, the Discord, because I forgot to mention yesterday that I had a Discord. I completely forgot. But yeah. Gatos are pricey, but agreed they appear to be the best in capture card streaming on the market. Okay. So Elgato HD 60S Plus, okay. Hold on, let me, real quick, hold on. Hold on. Let me, hold on. Look up how much it is. Hold on. Cost about $200. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Fleafly. I really appreciate that. I need to put some kind of I actually haven't done that yet. Setting up bots and stuff so I can put links to Discord and stuff like that. I need to do that actually. I haven't done that yet. What was it, the Nightbot? I think is what they call them. The Nightbots. I haven't set one up yet. I need to do that actually. The detector. Nightbot's one of them, easy enough to set up. Oh, okay, Fleety. Yeah, I definitely need to set that up so that way, so I can keep so that way, you know, that way people know, they can join my Discord and, stuff like that. Detector allows you to track down the source of signals, blinking light, indicates, yeah. Again, this is pretty much for side quests, so, And I pretty much know where the signal is. I don't even have to pull it out right now. I know where it is. But yeah. Definitely, yeah, if I can get something like what you mentioned before, that HD, well, unfortunately I can't make this thing scroll down. I would have to go on my phone or something and then check the chat there. But definitely, if I got that thing, and then I can like stream PS3 and Switch games, that would definitely be awesome. Absolutely. Who knows what kind of you know, there's plenty of games I could stream. Like Astral Chain, I would love to stream that game. That game's a lot of fun. Astral Chain, maybe even Shin Megami Tensei, maybe that game too. All right, gotta here. Here we go. There. They also sell AV to HDMI converters that you can buy as well if you want to stream retro consoles. Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. Actually, I forgot those are a thing too. AV to HDMI converters. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, you like put those and that lets you capture from your original console, which is awesome, you know? I mean, I used to have my Xbox, my OG Xbox, but when my dad gave me the Xbox One, I had to move it, so, yeah. You know. It kinda sucks. If I had more space, then definitely I could have it around and stuff, but, yeah. Though I will say, playing certain games on the OG Xbox on a modern TV, it doesn't look that great, honestly. Like, Time Splitters 2, when I played that, like, Time Splitters and stuff, when I played that on a modern TV, the blur's really bad. It honestly kind of gives me motion sickness, honestly. And I'm usually not that easily, like, I don't usually get sick from, like, motion and stuff. But it actually does, like, kind of, like, give me a little bit of motion sickness. Because the blur is, like, really bad.
はい。
Watch someone's new video? No, I didn't, Kitsuru, actually. I didn't yet. I didn't watch his video yet. I really should, actually. What I am curious, though, is the games that he's gonna show on his Tolerate stream. I'm very curious what he's gonna show, what game DSP is gonna play and stuff. Which, by the way, like, DSP, I can't believe DSP still hasn't been in this game yet. I mean, I guess he's just trying to beat everything and stuff, but I don't know, it's just taking too long, honestly, you know. Oh, wait, no, I take, like, boxing classes. Mess with the Yagami style. I shall not hold back, even against a lady as yourself. Whoa, you know Kung Fu? Excellent bluff. Okay, I think definitely if this game was on PC, people would be doing Sukuma mods. I know it. Don't lie. I know they would happen. I know there are guys out there that would do it. Yeah, this is like for, the Psychos where you, like, look for all these, like, hidden bugs and stuff like that. But like I said, we're just focusing on the main story, so, you know. But yeah. So Soma's latest video is just pretty much DSP still being toxic over his lost partnership from Twitch and demanding an apology from them. Not surprising from him. Yeah, Fleety, in case you're wondering who we're talking about DSP, he's this one streamer, but he's not exactly a good one. Not just in terms of how he plays, but his personality too. He's not a really nice guy. There are lots of videos of him playing games and he does not do that great. You know? Oh, never heard of him. Yeah, he's not a really good guy, honestly. I didn't know about him till like 2 years ago, I think. I didn't know about him. I never heard of his channel, actually. And then when I started seeing like his watches, I'm like, man, jeez, it gets bad. Trust me. Especially his older content. His older content. It's really bad. And let's just say also he has a habit of like doing like weird like he does weird things in his commentary and stuff. Like, you know how like now I'm just like talking and stuff and you know, well in his commentary sometimes he'll like do like weird noises and stuff. I'm like, okay, what the heck is that about? He sounds lovely. Yeah, yeah. Like, if you were to take my gameplay of Vanquish and put it to his, it's... it's like night and day, pretty much. You know? Like this, like another thing too, also, he has this weird mentality that, like, I'm sure it'll make you like, wait, what? It'll make you go like that, I'm sure. So, he's married, and things is that, like, he has this weird logic that if he plays games that have, like, sexy female characters and stuff, it's, like, cheating to him. He thinks that's like cheating and stuff, and then also he'll say like, oh, I don't have time for like waifus or any of that stuff, or he'll even say like, I'm married, stupid. He'll say that. I'm like, yeah, you're married, but they're not real. It's one thing if they're real people, like if you're actually meeting with a real person, that's one thing, but they're just video game characters. If I had a girlfriend and she was talking about how, like, this male character was, like, hot and stuff, I'd be like, okay, you know, but I couldn't help but think when you started off by saying he's married, I'm thinking this is going to be good. Yeah. So he's like that. Yeah, exactly. He has weird logic and stuff sometimes. It's really, like, once in a while he'll say something that actually I'll agree with him on, but for the most part, it's stuff that I'm like, okay, yeah, no. It's just, yeah, he just says some, like, weird things and stuff, you know? Like, he's actually even played Resident Evil, and I think, oh, if you were to watch it, I know you'd be like, oh my god, like, this guy's playing Marvel. I know you'd be probably, like, boiling in anger and stuff watching him, because he does not do that good on that game. the remake and stuff, and Zero also, he's played that also. He's pretty much played all of them, from the classic to the remakes and stuff, and yeah, he doesn't do good in any of them. Because I know you, obviously you're a big fan of Resident Evil. I know if you were to watch him playing that game, you would definitely just like click off the video and stuff, and I would not blame you one bit. Each their own, I suppose. Twitch does have a lot of interesting people, but some folks, yeah. Yeah, like some people, like, it's one thing, like, when you're learning to get stuff, that's definitely, like, fine stuff, but the way how he is, it's like, nah, it's like, it's just, you know, good to know, definitely not for me then. Yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to ignore him, I wouldn't blame you. if you never wanted to check him on stuff, I don't blame you. I mean, if you are interested in seeing how bad his walkthroughs are, there's a bunch of, they're called "This Is How You Don't Play." There's a bunch of those videos that you can watch, and they like put in some like funny edits and stuff like that, you know. Of course, that's if you want to like check on stuff. You don't, obviously, if you're not interested, you know, that's obviously cool, you know. But if you're interested in watching how bad his walkthroughs are, you can check those out. Those "This Is How You Don't Play" videos. And there's plenty of them. There's plenty of different games that he's played, so there's tons of different ones you can watch. Maybe out of curiosity, it helps what I'm getting into in advance.
まずは池袋駅から検証するつもりなので、八神さんも明日そちらへお願いします。わかった。それじゃ。
Now, of course, the thing is, I'm not like, you know, I'm not saying like I'm perfect or anything. Absolutely not. You know, I never try to make it sound like I'm perfect or, you know, anything like that. You know. I never try to, like, you know, say that stuff, you know. Like, Virtua Fighter, I said, like, you know, I'm not that great at this game, you know, so if I do pretty terrible, you know, then, you know, that explains why. I'm just not that good at that game. But, you know, with him, though, he has, like, this very, like, prideful, I think, yeah, that's, like, the right word, I think, prideful. He always thinks, like, he's, like, the best and, you know, stuff like that, you know. When he's not. What time is it right now? Oh, 5:20, okay. I think we could stream a lot more, actually. I think once we're done with this chapter, then once we're done with this chapter, then I think we'll end it. And then if I'm in the mood, I'll probably go to my Xbox and we'll stream something there. I don't want to say that I will stream my Xbox. I don't want to, from now on, actually, I don't want to say I will, because then if I end up not doing it, then it feels like I'm kind of like lying to you guys, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to say I will and then I don't, and then, you know, like with Halloween, I promised to play Code Vein on Halloween, or around there at least, and I unfortunately didn't, so, yeah. So from now on, I'm just gonna say that potentially I'll stream after this, or, you know, I'll potentially, like, you know, because potentially doesn't mean, like, I will do it, it just means that there's a chance I will, you know, so, yeah.
その江原の映像を撮った防犯カメラはあれか。
そうですね。
Book Road is pretty famous for Tokyo due to the number of people who travel through it.
そして9時6分。
know where you're coming from, not always easy to follow up on some things like that. You may not be in the mood for the game, for example. Yeah, exactly. I honestly hate when that happens, where, like, I want to stream a game, but I don't have the chance. And then when I do have the chance to stream the game, then it's like, I don't know, I'm not in the mood for stuff. I'm like, the one time I get the chance, and now I'm not in the mood for it. I hate it when that happens. You know, there's a thing that there's like this thing that I always keep repeating myself, and it's that when you don't need something, it'll always be there, and when you do need it, it won't be there. You know, I pretty much always say that, because you know how, like, when, how should I say that, what analogy I could use, how should I say this? It's kind of like where, like, for example, like, if I need, like, batteries or something, like, if I don't need batteries, I'll see them constantly, you know, I'll keep seeing them, like, if I pull out a drawer or something, I'll keep seeing them there and stuff, you know, I'll see them in the, like, I'll see them in the drawer and stuff, and it's like, it's always there and stuff. And then as soon as I need them, the second I need batteries, they're gone. And I'll keep, like, looking around and stuff. I'm like, where the heck are the batteries now? You know? That's pretty much what it is, how it is sometimes. It's like, as soon as I get the chance, now I'm not in the mood anymore. I'm not in the mood anymore. And when I am in the mood, I can't do it because I just don't have the opportunity to. That's what it feels like sometimes. Anything I can conclude from looking around, which is why now I'm actually trying to stream even when my brother is in the house, because I usually don't stream when he's in the house because we tend to play a lot and stuff. But I'm actually trying a lot more to stream even when he's you know, in the house and, you know, he's playing stuff. Like, I think probably what I'll do is, like, when he's playing with his friends or something online, I'll stream there. Though I am worried that that might cause some problems with the stream, because obviously it might affect the Wi-Fi and stuff, so, you know. I hope it doesn't affect it too much. But we'll see, you know. Damn batteries. Yeah. Speaking of batteries, it's honestly kind of insane that the Xbox controllers still use batteries like that. Like, I know there's rechargeable batteries, but I just find it hilarious that they still use, like, the same kind of, like thing where you pop the thing out and then you put the batteries inside since 360. Because even the Series X still uses that, or maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it still uses it, yeah. Or you could pop the thing out and stuff. I'm like, why do they still use that? You know, like, even PS3, like, the batteries are built inside. And if this is because of, like, you know, because if the controller's, like, messed up or something, that you could transfer the batteries to another controller. Well, it's like, I mean, if the controller's messed up, it's messed up. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't think so, but if that's the reason, it's pretty dumb. Because the controller's messed up. You're gonna get another one anyway. I don't know. But, yeah. That's why it's really silly why Xbox controllers are like $60. At least PlayStation I can understand because they have all that extra stuff on and stuff. And the Joy-Cons, I think they could be a little less cheap, but even those I can also sort of understand because they're basically, because Joy-Cons are like controllers in and of themselves essentially, because you can have just one half of the Joy-Con and use it as a controller. So, yeah.
現場は大混乱。江原が取り押さえられた後も安全確認のために20分ぐらい電車を動かせなかったんです。
なあ、この見取り図に防犯カメラの位置と向きを追加できる。
ねえ、できますよ。じゃあ江原が捕まった地点に向かいがてらカメラの位置もチェックしていきましょうか。江原が取り押さえられたのはずっと向こうです。八神さんは防犯カメラの位置を見つけたら教えてください。 僕の方で不完図に書き入れていきますよ。
Alright, let's look for all the security cameras.
怪しいな。怪しいな。これは怪しいな。
There you go.
今近くにあるカメラは全部チェックできましたね。じゃあ少し先に進みましょう。
これはこれは怪しいな。どこだ。
Alright, check that one. Keep.
ん
There. Other.
この辺のカメラはチェックできました。もう少し先に進みましょう。
なんだ。怪しいな。これはどこだ。
They check this. I think I already did. Yeah, I already did. There you go.
カメラはこれで全部チェックできたと思います。駅ホームの俯瞰図が完成しました。
The overhead view of the station at the time of the crime. Got off at 9:12 a.m.
ここに今防犯カメラの位置とレンズの向きを加えてみます。
Each of the orange areas represents a field of view of the camera.
これはなんだ。
His hand, but he broke free and then tried to run away.
これは
There won't be any running through here.
ん怪しいな。
The travel trajectory of here on the victim goes away from the to where they are captured.
なんだ。
Spot where. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'll be back real quick. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. My parents were calling me. Sorry about that. Bystanders took Yara down. The event was documented with someone's smartphone. This is what they call eyewitness footage. I bet the TV stations shell out for that sort of stuff. Well, who doesn't pull out their phone nowadays? Anytime something is happening, I can guarantee you one guy is gonna do it.
江原が痴漢をしてた時の状況は大まかに言ってこんなところです。どうですか、八神さん。何か気がついたことは？
江原も被害者の間宮さんも普段からこの時間の電車を使ってたのかな。
ええ。被害者は通勤に利用してるので、平日はほぼ毎日。江原も通勤利用なんですが、犯行当日は休みで別居中の奥さんのところへ行く途中だったそうです。
じゃあホームで1時間うろついてたことについては何て？
その奥さんに会うのが億劫でなかなか電車に乗れなかったと。あの人は何を聞いてもそんな言い訳じみた答えばかりなんです。痴漢もやってないって言うんですが、見つかる証拠は全部有罪を示してました。結局裁判で無実を主張できる根拠は一つもなかったんです。
痴漢は実際に
Lost partnership.
江原はその日息子の仇である三越場が偉人帳で殺されると知ってたんだ。
I'm trying to think of another funny title for a title that sounds like it would be for yes. I'm trying to think of another one.
計画的なものだったはずです。もしかしたら現行犯で取り押さえられるところまで全部。
Lost Rambo news. I'm trying to think of one. Lost KFC. That's another funny one. Lost KFC.
なんかだんだん得体が知れなくなってきました。
江原はまず間違いなく三越場殺しの一味と関係してるよ。けどそこを口割らせんのは難しそうだな。あいつは多分この件に捨て身でかかってる。
Lost KFC. Not like this.
共犯者たちは誰なんでしょう。江原はベテラン警官ですし、殺し屋なんかとつながりがあったりするんですか。
I haven't had KFC in a long time. I can't remember the last time I had them. I think it was what, 4 or 5 years ago. I think I had KFC. It's been a long time. I do remember when I was really young, we did eat there pretty often. I obviously get like the kids stuff, but I don't really remember much else. Got to see both Mikoshiba's murder and Hiro's crime, so I think I've hit all the places I need to see. Gonna have to lurk. It's me here, but look in the background, have a great stream. Great to catch him again. Okay, fine. Yeah, no worries. No worries. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
わかった。明日だね。なら俺は一旦偉人帳に戻るよ。
And it's definitely good to be streaming again. It feels good to finally get back into this. So far I got 3 consistent streams. Oh, that's good. Hopefully I can keep it a little more consistent, hopefully.
わかりました。ではそちらは八神さんにお任せします。
うん。それじゃあ明日。
Forward to the next one. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yeah, you too, Fleetfoot. Yeah, you too. I hope you have a good weekend as well. And thank you. I really appreciate you being here, along with everyone else being here. You know, I appreciate you all being here and checking out these streams and enjoying them, especially, which is important. You know, definitely important that that you're enjoying these streams, and that's definitely the most important thing. Doesn't matter that I just have maybe like 5 viewers or something like that. That doesn't matter. As long as they're enjoying it, as long as you guys are enjoying it, that's all that matters. Yeah, I think it's everything else. Hit each other. See? All that's left is to get Celeste to talk. Yeah, hold on. Okay. I think we're getting a little close to the end of this chapter, I think. Or maybe there's a... I don't know. Because the thing is, my parents are making dinner, so... I probably might not be able to finish this chapter. You know. Which I think is fine, because we've been streaming for a while now. Look, it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes, so not like we haven't been streaming much. We've been streaming a while now, actually. So... yeah. I do hope we can get to the end of this chapter, because this is definitely like when it starts getting really good is chapter 4. This is when it starts getting really good. I don't want to say of course, you know. I don't want to say why, but you'll definitely see.
もう構わないで。私は何のお役にも立てません。
三越柴博の殺害には十中八九江原さんが関係してます。
私には関係ありません。
江原さんは三越柴が敏郎君を自殺にまで追い込んだと思っているようです。でも第三者委員会も裁判所もそんな事実はなかったと。どっちが本当なんですか？先生ならきっとご存知ですよね。教えてもらえませんか？4年前三越柴と敏郎君に何があったのか。
知りませんって。私は何も。
俺は明日拘置所にいる江原さんと話をしに行きます。
え？
昨日は三越柴が殺された現場を見てきました。彼は殺されるまでにひどい暴力を受けてました。なぶり殺しです。両手の指を折られて、その後喉を切られて殺されました。
そんな。
I know I'm putting her through a lot now, but she's connected to this too. She's got information I need to know before I go see Ihara.
江原さんは三越柴が殺されると知りながら、同じ日に痴漢事件を引き起こしてた。まるで自分だけは三越柴殺害に無関係だとアピールするように。でも本当にアピールしたかったのは多分そこじゃない。江原さんは自分が息子のための復讐を成し遂げたんだと、みんなにそう言いたくて仕方ないんです。
その死体の主は三越柴博と言います。彼は4年前私の息子を自殺に追いやった。
そんな江原さんと明日渡り合うには俺にも材料が必要です。4年前本当に彼の息子は三越柴のいじめを受けてたのか。今俺が先生の口から聞きたいのはそれだけです。
その答えなら変わりません。三越柴君がいじめをしてたなんて事実は。
待ってください先生。
え？
失礼します。
あ、ちょっと。
この写真の彼が江原敏郎君ですよね。彼がここで聞いてると思って答えてください。それでも三越柴のいじめがなかったと言うんなら、俺も先生の言葉を信じます。そしてもう二度とこちらにお邪魔しません。どうですか
？4年前、私は英語教師になってこの学校に転任してきたばかりでした。早く馴染もうと努力していて、やっと周りの顔と名前を覚えてきた頃です。放課後、この屋上で一息入れてたところに敏郎君が逃げ込んできたんです。どうしたのって聞いたら、 人差し指を立てて、よく見たら鼻血を出してました。そしてその後三越柴君が敏郎君を探しに現れたんです。私は見てないよと答えました。だって敏郎君の表情が状況を全部物語ってたから。
三越柴のいじめを受けてたんですね。
ええ。その後敏郎君から聞きました。三越柴君たちと一緒に学校を出ると遊びのお金を払わされるんだって。彼らも初めは冗談半分だったらしいんです。敏郎君がクラスの平均点を下げたからお詫びにクラス全員にジュースをおごれと。でもそれに三越柴君は味を占めたようでした。彼は成績が良くて補習してやると言っては取り巻きと一緒に敏郎君を連れ出し授業料を取ったんだそうです。お母さんが働きに出てる日は敏郎君の家にも押しかけていき、夕食にと置いてあったお金も授業料として何度も取った。そして敏郎君はお金を払えない時、学校で殴られたりトイレで土下座をさせられたんです。
誰もその様子を見てなかったんですか？
少なくとも私たち教師は。生徒らの中には見てた子もいました。それで私は彼らの担任の先生に報告をしたんです。敏郎君から聞いたことを全部。その先生はベテランで私よりもずっと経験豊富な学年主任でした。そしてこう言ったんです。3年生はもうすぐ卒業だ。もう学校が騒ぎ立てる時期じゃないと。
ありそうな判断ですね。
実際成績優秀な三越柴君をいじめ加害者と名指しするには証拠がありませんでした。敏郎君の話を裏付ける客観的な証拠が。でもやっぱり何か介入して手を打つべきだったんです。私にはそれが分かってなかった。
先生、
結局私がやっていたのはなるべく校内で敏郎君が一人きりにならないように目を配ることだけ。それは彼にとって何の役にも立ってなかったんです。だから3学期が始まる最初の朝、敏郎君は自分の部屋で首を吊りました。ドアノブにタオルを引っ掛けて。
それであなたは三越柴を問い詰めた。敏郎君をいじめてたんじゃないかと。
ええ、そうです。
4 years ago, Sawa Sensei stood up to Mikoshiba for his terrible behavior. Then why has she kept that to herself for so long?
三越柴君はいじめなんて知らないと言いました。さすがの彼も動揺していたようです。ただ私はいじめの調査に第三者委員会が入ると聞き、すぐに実態が明るみに出ると思いました。生徒たちから無記名のアンケートが取られたんです。そこに見たままを書き込んだという生徒も少なくありませんでした。
けどその後の裁判でいじめの事実は確認できなかったってことになったんですよね。そういうアンケートがされたんなら事実確認できたはずじゃ。
いじめを調べた第三者委員会は直接当事者たちに聞き取りをしたわけじゃなかったんです。おまけにアンケートを取りまとめたのは例の担任でした。ところが彼はいじめを見たという回答を全部握りつぶしてたんです。自分がいじめの報告を受けたのに黙殺してたと知れれば責任を問われるから。
それじゃあ何のための第三者委員会なのかわからない。
ネットには校内のいじめを指摘する声もありましたが、ほんのわずかでした。敏郎君の父親は 都内に別居。母親も日中はお勤めされてて、学校の内情に詳しくありません。そこにつけ込んで、あの担任はいじめはなかったと押し通したんです。校長にも理事長にも言わずに独断で。そして第三者委員会は三越場君たちが卒業する直前、いじめの事実は確認できなかったと調査結果をまとめました。
なんだよそれ。
日本では今、小学生から高校生まで子供が年間300人自殺しているそうです。そのうちいじめが原因とされるものは 3% 以下。敏郎君のケースはそこに含まれないと判断された。第三者委員会の報告に江原さんは納得できませんでした。それで星稜高校に訴えを起こしたんです。敏郎君の自殺に対して損害賠償を求めると。裁判は長引いて、私にも証言台に立つ機会が回ってきました。もちろん私は敏郎君に聞いたまま全てを言うつもりでした。でもその時、あの担任が学校側の弁護士を連れて私に何を証言するつもりか問いただしてきたんです。
自分に都合の悪いことを言われちゃ困ると。
ええ。アンケート隠しがあったことは私もその時初めて聞かされました。あちらも私を味方に引き入れるために全部さらけ出すしかなかったんです。そこまで追い詰められてたんでしょうね。私は敏郎君にいじめの相談を受けたただ一人の大人でした。彼はご両親にも最後まで言えなかったんだと思います。でもだからこそ敏郎君がいじめを受けていたという客観的な証拠は何も残ってなかったんです。彼の相談を録音してたわけでもありません。私自身が実際のいじめを目撃したこともなかった。するとそれを知った学校側の弁護士は私にこう言いました。法律は疑わしきは罰せずだと。確実にいじめを立証できないのであれば三越場君の名前を出すべきではないと。
そして逆にいじめはなかったと証言するよう言われた。
ええ。
先生にとって難しい判断だったと思います。
私は証言台で事実を言うべきでした。でも別の日にはやっぱり他にどうしようもなかったと思い直してしまう。今日までずっとその繰り返しです。ただ自分が 100% 正しかったと思えた日はありません。
その後アンケートを握りつぶした担任は
もうよその学校に行きました。今もどこかの教壇に立っているはずです。
そうでしたか。
私にその先生を責める資格なんてありませんけど。
Wait, where in the story did Yara find out that Mikoshiba was a bully? It wasn't clear at the trial whether he could really bring himself to kill a person.
先生は三越場のいじめがあったことやアンケートが握りつぶされたこと、他にも誰かに言いました？
いえ、言ってません。八神さん、私ね、自分が学生だった時にも目の前でいじめがあったんです。男の子が同級生たちに追い詰められて校舎の屋上から飛び降りました。
屋上から？
なんとか命は助かったんだけど、13年経った今も昏睡状態です。ずっと眠ったままその子は、充くんはこの先目を覚ますかどうかも分かりません。お母さんが一人お役所に勤めながら一生懸命育ててたのに、
お気の毒です。
その時の担任はみつるくんがいじめられてるところを見てもやりすぎんなよと見過ごしていたんです。後で世間のバッシングを受けて教職を追われました。なのに敏郎くんの件では誰もが責任を免れた。私も含めてです。
誰かが責任を取らなきゃいけないとしたら、その一番手は三越場です。江原さんもそう考えたんだと思います。
子供の頃私は無邪気に先生になるのを目指してました。みつるくんのことがあってからは使命感すら覚えました。なのに私には何もできなかった。
I'm starting to understand everything that happened 4 years ago. I think I'm ready to interview Ihara. I should go back to Yokohama 99 and get some rest. Alright guys, I'm actually gonna end the stream here. I'm actually getting tired now, actually. I'm starting to get all, like, sleepy and stuff. I'll end the stream here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Dime. Thank you, Kitsuru. Thank you, Fleafly, for being here. Really appreciate it. Hopefully tomorrow we can stream this game again. Hopefully. Hopefully nothing gets in the way and then I can't, you know. And as for, of course, obviously, I'm not really going to be doing a Xbox bonus stream, unfortunately. So, but still, thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next stream, and hopefully we'll continue to have more fun with these streams. So take care and bye. See you later.